Was Quinn.
Of high school football on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Neemer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. And now, Sholo Ford presents high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
To Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com. I'm Aaron Hewish, joined by Abe Bodden. First round of the 4A playoffs, as we said, the Kenyon Del Oro Dorados right up the mountain here to visit the Snowflake Lobos. Abe, first initial thoughts on this game?
You know, Aaron, you've got the defending state champions out of the 4A, the Dorados, coming up here to Snowflake. After a great season last year, they took a little bit of a step back, finishing at 6-4. Lobos finishing 10-0. First round matchup, though, you just never know. At this point of the year, it's survive and advance, just like it is in March for the NCAA tournament. And the Lobos, they come in as the favorites, but anything can happen, especially on a cold night like tonight.
That's kind of how I feel, Abe, is I like that anything can happen. Because if you remember last year, the Lobos were the lower seed, and they went down and played foes of the Dorados down there in Tucson, and that was Micah Mountain. And they somewhat nearly came close to they made it a game. And so maybe there's not as much parity in the 2A and 3A as there is in the 4A division, and the Lobos are finding that out as they do get this home game. But talk about this, Abe, is the Lobos are undefeated, first time in 41 or 42 years from what we understand. They come into this game undefeated, but I think the little bit of the sword in the side has been that they dropped to that number 3 seed, and that is huge as we go into these playoffs.
Yeah, it leaves them having to go on the road if everything stays chalk to the semifinals. And they've got something to play for, something to show the state that, hey, it wasn't just a fluke what they did up here this year. They beat some really good teams, went on the road and beat a scrappy Marcos Deniza team. They beat Cactus at home, got Gilbert at home, and they've played good football all year. They should come out with a lot of confidence. I think they are, as I've visited with a number of the boys and coaches around the team. They're confident in tonight, but they know that they've got to play their best game, and that's what we'll look for tonight out of the Lobos.
That's kind of how I'm feeling, is we're going to get ready for the coin tosses. The clock has about a minute 10 ticks on it as we're going to go down. This is our Ace Hardware pregame show. Anytime you need a key May date or night, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Sholo, Overguard, and Lakeside, as well as they do have a 24-hour locksmith on duty. Anytime you're locked out of your car, which let's just hope we're not tonight and have to call Ace Hardware here at the game, come and take care of that. So this is our Ace Hardware pregame show. And Abe, I look at that semifinal game is if they can get through the Dorados, then they most likely will play a tough Prescott team. Is that Arizona College Prep team is a very good team, and I would have liked to have seen them have to come up the mountain in late November to play that game. And unfortunately, the the ball didn't fall that way, and the Lobos got to take care of business tonight, or it's something we can't even talk about. And through the history, there's always upsets, and you still have to play the game. And I've asked some of my friends and some of the people around the community what their predictions are of the game, and it's not something broadcasters normally do, is going out and predicting the game. But the people I've talked to, kind of as you have visited with coaches and players, is they're very confident, but also cautiously optimistic. Like, hey, these are the top 16 teams in the 4A realm. These are 1,000 students and over, and the Lobos are, 900 kids, 850, 900 students playing up. So this could be something very interesting as we see referee James Gillespie and umpire Mike Gillespie jog out for the coin toss, as we are going to have the Lobo captains come out for the evening. Representing the Lobos tonight are number 14, Sam Brown, number 54, Porter Reed, number 42, that is Josh Orr, and is that number 18, and that's Jojo Lerma for the Lobos. We have yet to see any captains for the Dorados as they're huddled down, as the Dorados come out in their all whites with their green lids. Canyon del Oro, that would be Canyon of Gold, right?
Yes.
Mixing of two languages there.
Yes.
So we have
Canyon
the
of Gold.
Cienega de Plata here. So we could say Creek of Plata. So we got the Creek of Plata playing Canyon del Oro. I'm sorry, I had to go there, Abe.
Well, we are the Lobos. Technically that's wolf in Spanish, but
Snowflake Lobos.
But we won't get into the technicalities of the Spanish language, as even when I needed to learn Spanish, I didn't do it very well. So, I really think tonight, Aaron, if the Lobos come out and run the ball effectively, play their style of defense, and don't get into a scoring match here with Canyon del Oro, it should come away for a win for the Lobos. We looked at it earlier, too. Last year, Canyon del Oro went into a 4-overtime game in their first-round game against Arizona College Prep.
That was a first-round game because it was a 7-10.
Yep, first-round game, 4 overtimes. So, once again, we've sort of beat that theme here a little bit, but anything can happen. So, we're looking forward to a great game tonight. Hopefully the Lobos can put together their best effort, and they're peaking at the right moment as they enter the playoff season.
This has been your Ace Hardware pregame show. We're going to go ahead and take a minute break here and come back and bring you the kickoff here on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com, as this is Show LaForge's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Welcome back to Show LaForge's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com. Live on our YouTube channel, I'm Aaron Hughes, joined by Abe Bott as we get ready for our Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it comes time to kick off your college education, kick it off the college with the lowest tuition in the state. That's Northland Pioneer College. Locations in Navajo and Apache County. Northland Pioneer College. As the Lobos come out in their blue tops, white bottoms, white lids. The Dorados in all white with their green lids. As Sam Brown's going to tee it up for the Lobos. And we're going to get set as he's going to kick from the close hash as the Dorados line up their first 5 on the 50. And as the officials get set, we're going to look for a signal from our white hat tonight. He signals, and we are getting close, and we are underway as Brown kicks it down. Good kick, going to be fielded about the 10-yard line. And that is number 21 for the Dorados, and he stopped short at about the 23-yard line. And I believe that was number 21, Gavin Hicks, for the Dorados.
Sorry, Aaron. Number 88, Connor Reed on the tackle there as he mows him down just shy of the 25. So good defensive kick coverage there by the Lobos.
That's number 88? You said that's number 88. I believe that's Connor Reed for the Snowflake Lobos. As the Dorados come out, and a lot of non-sleeved up players here got to be enjoying a little bit of the chill weather, as the Dorados are going to run one single back on. Quarterback for the Dorados is and we're going to have our first flag of the game, and we're going to be whistling for a false start.
Snap, false start, offense number 20. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And lots of feedback there. I don't know if that's ours or the mic in the school.
That looks like it's the PA at the school. So I'm trying to get a number on the Dorados quarterback. Gabe, do you have one yet?
Was it 11, Aaron?
That would
David
be
Luke.
David Luke, the 5'8",
I'm not sure if I could
junior.
see if it was number 11 or not, but that's what I thought I saw.
The Dorados numbers it looks like Jacob.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm 40 years old, so my eyes aren't working great. It might be number 18. No, that'd be a sophomore.
As we apologize for the audio, they're looking to probably going to have to cut the official's mic for the night.
There we go.
As that gets cut off, as
we get the Lobo faithful cheering for the booth up here. So
as Cash Dinky comes out far side, single back set, and we still haven't got a read on our quarterback number yet. 1st and 15 for the Dorados. Quarterback man to his left. There's a motion. Give to the man in motion. Goes to the outside. Now cuts it back in. Ball is going to be tackled at about the 22-yard line. And that's going to be a gain of, we're going to call it 5 on the play.
No, that's a great tackle there by Riker Brimhall as he's playing that outside linebacker position. Makes the runner cut it back up inside. And Riker coming back from injury. He didn't play last week against Sierra Linda. This week, going to give it a go. It's playoff football. I spoke to him a little bit. He's just anxious to get back out there and help the team, and makes the first tackle of the game.
Dorados single back set once again. Man to the left. Ball is snapped. Ball's overthrown. That is number 18 is the quarterback for the Dorados, and that is Peyton Strang.
So it is a sophomore.
Yeah, my understanding from what I've been told, and I don't know a lot about the Dorados, but they lost quite a bit last year. And so when they lost quite a bit, they're having to rebuild. Although going into the playoffs as a 14 seed, 14 seed isn't much of a rebuild. That's a pretty good year.
And in a tough conference down there too, Aaron. They, Walden Grove, Micah Mountain. They came out of there ranked 3rd in their conference, and that's a good job. If that's truly a rebuilding year, that's what you like to see out of a program.
As we have an incomplete pass, and we have the ball being cleaned by the officiating crew. Ball's on the 22-yard line, 3rd and 11 for the Dorados. As Strang gets the pass, he drops back. Strang looks left, looks right, now goes over, and ball's going to fall incomplete. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Dorados. And it looks to me like they would prefer to run the ball, but they got a little bit behind the stakes with that false start there at the beginning of the game. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 11, and that's going to put number 27 for the Lobos. Merrick Olberg is back to the deep man.
And what you've seen all year out of the Lobos, Aaron, is when it's 3rd and long, they'll go into that extra DB set. They took Riker Brimhall off the field and brought in an extra defensive back and played the pass well right there.
As we get a little bit of a schnib from our longtime friend and caller on iTalk, as Merrick Olberg kind of dribbles it a little bit. It returns about 3 yards. As Derek Palmer just texted me, and we'll get back to that after the break. So this is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
I-talk1067.com, as the Lobos come out in a very familiar formation, hand the ball under, and we're going to call it no gain. And that's going to be, I believe that was Carter Rabin.
It was Carter Rabin, just nowhere to run. Dorados got a good push up front. Lobos stacking the line, as you see. Big set, all 3 tight ends out there.
Well, the strength of the Lobos is going to be that offensive line. Is this give us to Rabin. Rabin goes, and Rabin fights his way, and Rabin gets a hard 7 yards as he goes pretty good. And we're going to give him 7 on that. And so that's going to be a gain of...
Lobos looking to pick up the pace, Aaron. Is
Lobos picking up the pace, and they're going through as 2-back set, 1 on each side of Jacob Leduc, the sophomore quarterback. Both teams coming out with sophomore quarterback. There's a handoff. It's fumbled, but going right back in the hands of Rabin, and Rabin's going to be stuck, and it's going to be a 4th down, and this is going to be a little bit of decision time for the Lobos, Abe.
I think they probably go for it, Aaron. They're going to bring out some wide receivers here, get away from the jumbo package, maybe look for a quick slant over the middle. This is good 4th down territory if you're the Lobos here.
Abe, how long till Snowflake's offensive line wears down these Dorados? Because the size advantage isn't huge, but I do notice they're pushing them around a little bit. I think that the Lobos will eventually win that battle up front. The Dorados just playing with a lot of heart right now and emotion in their 3-down set as Leduc comes in. Leduc in shotgun, backs to each side, Rabin and Turley, I believe. Yep. Tight end is to the quarterback's right, 2 receivers wide, and that's going to be a pass out to the side, and that's going to go to number
Merrick.
27, Merrick Oberg. Merrick's going to go, and Merrick's down to the 10 and to the 4, and Oberg is tackled at the 4, and that's going to be a 40-yard gain.
Man, great move there by Merrick Oberg as he just takes the quick pitch or the quick swing pass by Leduc, makes 4 guys miss, and goes 40 yards. Yeah. Not a better start than that if you're the Lobos.
And now I see the Lobos looking to do a little bit of punching of their own using the strength of that offensive line. Leduc in his familiar 2-back set as we go over the middle, and we're going to have, is that Rabin? No, it's not Rabin. I see Rabin standing there. That's Turley. Turley gets the ball down, and we're going to call that a gain of, gosh, Abe, did he get one?
Probably about 1 or 2.
1 or 2?
Maybe 1.5, Aaron, we could, if we're wanting to get technical. But, yeah, Canton just got stood up there. And to your point a minute ago, Aaron, the Dorados definitely have a big line right there, and that's been Snowflake's strength this year. Is for the first time in a while, they've got the size advantage on almost every game, and especially running behind Big Cody Flake.
2nd and goal, 2-back set as Leduc calls his own number. Leduc's going to go to his right, go to his left. He busts through, and Leduc's in for the touchdown. As Leduc in for a 4-yard play. And that is going to be a touchdown for the Lobos.
What a great effort there by Jacob Leduc as he was initially stopped behind the line of scrimmage, slips through a few arm tackles, and bulldozes his way in there.
And, his offensive line didn't necessarily let him down, but there was a little bit of a miscommunication there as he made that initial cut into the line and didn't look like he was wrapped up, but looked like he was hit, and then he bounced it out, and the offensive line able to hold off the rest of Leduc walking into the end zone as Sam Brown to attempt the extra point, as we're going to be whistled, and there's going to be a false start. And we're going to be encroachment on the Dorados.
Wow.
That's going to bring up an interesting decision for the Lobos if they're going to bring out the offense. It doesn't look like they're going to bring out the offense.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense number 54, half the distance to the goal, retry.
As it looks like Brown's going to stay out there, this is going to be Judd Flake to hold.
So it's been interesting. The Lobos have had this scenario a number of times this year, Aaron, as I've watched the games. They typically just choose to let Sammy kick that ball through the uprights.
As here's the snap, the hold's down, the kick is up, and it is good. As the Lobos take an early 7-0 lead, we're going to take a break. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arnold. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court.
Dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
Welcome back to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com as the kickoff goes kind of awry as CDO lets it drop, and they are going to end up the ball on the 31-yard line as Abe, describe what you kind of saw there, because it almost looked like the Lobos had it.
Yeah, so that kick landed right at about the 30-yard line, shot straight up in the air. Luckily, the Dorados came in and snagged it out of the air, else it would have been Lobo football as they were sitting under there ready to get it.
There's the quarterback, snap, hand. That's going to be number 18 for the Dorados. That's Stang, and he gives it to number 34, and that is D'Angelo Alexander. That's going to go down as a run, gain of 6 on the play.
Now, good cleanup there by Mason Raven as he comes in from his DB position to make the tackle. Jojo Lerma almost had the shoestring tackle, just couldn't quite wrap up the ankles of Alexander.
It's going to be huge for the Dorados. I think they've got to stay penalty-free. They already have 2 penalties on the night for a total of, 6.5 yards, but that put him behind the stakes early on as Stang gets the ball. He gives it up the middle. That's going to be a first down and more, as that's going to be number 34 again, and that's D'Angelo Alexander, as he's going to get a first down. He's going to we're going to call that a gain of 7. So 6 and a gain of 7. That's going to put the ball at the 43-yard line of the Dorados for first and 10, 7 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the first quarter from a very brisk, very windy, very end of March day for Snowflake, Arizona.
Yeah, it felt more like baseball weather today, Aaron, than football weather.
It did exactly that. That's going to be a stop for the Lobos, and that's going to be number 8 for the Dorados, and that's going to be, is that Evan Greer? Evan Greer, and Evan's going to be stopped for a gain of nothing. Is that Andrew Bentley coming in from his defensive end spot to make that stop?
Yeah, and that's one thing we need to look for all game, Aaron, is how much are the Dorados going to challenge Andrew Bentley? He's just been an unstoppable machine out there off from that right defensive end position.
As we are going to call that a gain of 1, and that's going to be him with the ball again. That's going to be Greer with the ball, and he's going to go, and he's going to get a gain of, looks like about 3.
Yeah, and Porter Reed coming in to make a good tackle as Greer is able to slip a few tackles. One thing that I just noticed too, Aaron, Haydyn Nichols had to come off on the sideline here. They're checking his arm, but that puts Connor Reed, number 88, in the middle linebacker position, flanking Aaden Coor. So maybe see if the Dorados try to test the middle linebackers here.
3rd down and 5. 5th play of the drive for the Dorados. There's Stang, rolls out to his right, looks. Now he goes, has a man open down the middle. We're going to get a flag if it stays. Hopefully that chain crew stays put. Looks like it's going to go against the Lobos. Nope, they're bringing it back to market, so we'll see. It is going to be a hold. That was a little worrisome when the chains left there at the 50, so that's going to be negated as it's going to be a penalty.
Offense, number 20, 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down. Previous spot, Mike, 10 yards, previous spot.
Well, and you can hear in the referee's mic there, Aaron, the wind's blowing still down there on the field. We actually got a booth today, so we're high living here at Snowflake, Arizona.
Now, the interesting thing about that, Abe, is the chain crew, which does a very good job here at Snowflake High School, does an excellent job. They had moved, not seeing that flag, so umpire Mike Gillespie Jr. had to actually look and figure out where they were to mark that back off, as that's a 10-yard loss, so that's going to bring 3rd and 15. And here again, Abe, is the Dorados behind the stakes again and forcing them to do stuff that has not been their successful, what's the word, all year?
We'll say
Recipe.
So,
for lack of a better term.
Lobos go double safeties, Olberg and Smith back there.
They're staying, looking. Now he throws, and that's going to be knocked out of bounds. That's going to be a 4th down. As that's going to be to Greer, and that's going to be a gain of, we're going to say 6.
He'll still be 4th and probably
That's going to be 4th,
so, right?
and I think that's going to bring on the punt team, as we've already seen what Merrick Olbert can do catching the ball. I've got to think he's just as much of a threat to run when he's running the ball or after a punt reception.
Yeah, Merrick is just shifty. He's fast. He's big. Just a load to bring down. Yeah, Dorados will need to get a good punt here, try to pin the Lobos back as Olberg's set up at about his 15.
All right, let's go, Merrick. White, get off.
This is the second punt of the night for the Dorados. That's going to be a spiraling punt. Olberg's going to field that at about the 15-yard line. Olberg on the far side at the hashes. He goes up the sideline, now to the 20, and he spins down and is going to be knocked out of bounds about the 27-yard line. We're going to go ahead and take a break here. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Welcome back, Shola Ford's presentation of high school football as the Lobos start their drive from their own 35-yard line, and Carter Rabin is going to get the ball, and he's going to be dropped at about a 2-yard loss. They're going to give it. Yes, it is going to be a 2-yard loss. He's dropped at the 33-yard line. Lobos started this drive on their 35, and that's going to be number 5, Rabin, and he's going to get a loss of 2 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Lobos.
Yeah, Lobos, once again, Aaron, looking to go big to run the football. Just a few missed blocks, and that puts them behind the sticks. So
it doesn't seem that that's been the normal, and I have not watched them live this year. I've only got a chance to watch them through broadcasts and through film, but it seems that their strength has been those offensive tackles, and the Dorados finding a way to get through them. As there's the handoff given to Turley. Turley's going to fight, and Turley's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, possibly +1. So that's going to go down as a gain of 3 on the play for Canton Turley.
Well, good hard run there by Canton. Just not a lot of room for the backs right now as Snowflake's trying to establish the run. Puts them now in a 3rd and long.
That's what they had earlier when they threw that pass to Olberg. Do you look for something similar? Because they come out with trips to the right side now.
Yeah,
they come up
four total wide receivers.
Rabin to the left of Leduc, trips to Leduc's right, ball's in the middle of the field. As Leduc goes, now Leduc's going to see nothing but green.
Got
turf ahead of him. Leduc to the 50, Leduc to the 40, Leduc to the 35, and now Leduc is going to be brought down at the 25-yard line. And that is going to be a huge gain for Leduc as there's no flags down on the play, and he's going to go down for, let's see. That's almost a 40-yard gain. We're going to call it a gain of 38 for Jacob Leduc, and if you're the Dorados, that's got to be heartbreaking because they were set up for that pass. And Leduc, he looked once, and then he saw that green turf ahead of him, and he just took that. And once he made that cut about the 40-yard line, he put another 15 on that run as split back sets to Leduc's right. Leduc give to Rabin. Rabin now cuts it back up the middle as we're going to get a flag tossed, and we're going to have a penalty, and it's going to be holding against the Lobos, as that's going to bring back 10 from the previous spot. I can't see the Dorados letting this one stand. We'll turn it over to referee James Gillespie for this one.
Now his mic doesn't seem to
be working, so that's okay. Umpire backs it up 10, and so we're going to be 1st and 20 for the Lobos as...
Well, and that's what you can't do, Aaron. If you get a big run by your quarterback, sort of a momentum-changing run, like what you said, Dorados were feeling good about themselves. Penalties just set you behind the mark, and hopefully the Lobos can bounce back here on 1st and 20.
You know, Abe, as we get done with this play, Leduc in split back set, he's got 1 receiver to his right, 2 to his left, as Leduc gives it to Rabin. Rabin goes right up the middle, and Rabin is now to the 25, and to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and he's going to be tackled at the 7-yard line as Rabin's going to go.
No,
28 yards.
Carter just basically goes, you know what? I see you're 1st and 20, and I'm just going to get it back to 1st and 10. Give me the ball. Let's go.
That's what I was going to say, Abe, is the biggest difference that I've seen, not a biggest, it's one of the differences I've seen between the 4A realm and the 3A realm, is that in 3A you can recover from the penalties. But at the 4A, 5A, and 6A level, these teams are so good. As there's Turley. Turley's going to block. Turley's going to be in the end zone, and that is going to go down as a touchdown for the Lobos, as Turley's going to go in for an 8-yard touchdown run.
Man, look at Canton Turley just breaking tackles. Dorados laying on the ground. And Canton Turley just does not he never comes down on first and second contact there. And it feels like every time that kid is running the football, it's got to be the third and fourth guy that just rally tackle. And I'm sure the Dorados saw that on film all week and made it a point of emphasis because he's just hard. He's hard to bring down.
Here's Brown in to take the extra point. Judd Flake with the hold. Ball is down, kick up, and it is through the uprights. We're going to take a break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable, always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Welcome back to Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com as we have our Northland Pioneer College kickoff after the Sam Brown touchdown. Lobos with a pooch kick. It's going to be fair caught and going to be spotted at the 30-yard line, smack in the middle of the field as the Dorados have got to come out and they have got to not put themselves behind the stakes. Behind the sticks, can we say stakes this quarter? And be able to make it up and down as we've had a Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown for the Snowflake Lobos. As they're staying with the ball, he throws it out, and that's going to be caught. Is that Greer that caught it again?
I couldn't tell who had the catch, Aaron, but Haydyn Nichols with a great tackle. Good to see him back out there for the Lobos as he was out the last series on defense, but, man, just lowered his head right into whoever that was that caught that ball. It might have been 26.
I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell, Aaron.
The glass isn't extremely clean up here, which we're not going to complain about because we are warm.
Yeah.
But
on a night like tonight, we'll take being warm, right?
You know, that last drive, Abe, was quite a few plays for the Lobos. That's in line for our Horn Auto Center drive of the game as the Dorados go hard, get a very hard 5 yards, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Dorados. And that was Stang is their quarterback, and that was, I want to say that was number 1, but I'm not sure about that, and that's Douglas.
Reese Douglas. So, yeah, Lobos, they've given up a few of those run plays. You know, they're stacking that box. Dorados are doing a good job on the offensive line of just putting a hat on a hat, making sure that they account for all the defensive tacklers of the Lobos.
As the Dorados come out, single back set this time, it's almost an I formation, slightly offset to the left. As we're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a false start on the Dorados. That's going to go against them, and that's again, Abe, that's backing them up 5, so they're going to be 3rd and 10. And every drive so far, they've had one of those. Yeah. They've had a false start that's backed them up 5 and put them
prior to the snap.
They're not behind.
False start, offense number 12, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
As that puts them 3rd and 9 now, as this is going to be essentially the 3rd play of the drive, and they're going to come in and be back in this. So I look for him. The only thing that's been really successful is that rollout pass, and that's going to be to the short side of the field, and that would be to Stang's right hand as they come out same formation. No, this time they have split to the left with 2. And Stang in the single back set, and I believe that's number 34, Greer. As it's a fake to Greer, play action, as Stang's going to go up and over, and that's going to be almost tipped off the fingertips.
Man, what a
and
ball.
that was intended for number 7. And that's
Gavin Bauer.
Man,
and Haydyn
number
sang
7
with a great ball right there, Aaron. And you saw in the replay there, here on YouTube, he's getting smacked by Andrew Bentley and just lays out a ball there about 40 yards in the air. Couldn't have asked for a better pass out of your quarterback.
Dorados in for their third punt of the game. This one's going to be punted high. There's Merrick Olberg waiting for it. Merrick's going to let it bounce to the 25. Now he comes back and fields it at the 25. Olberg is going to go, and Olberg's going to make it to about the 35-yard line, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 35. Olberg at 35 as Lobos are going to take over on downs. We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Show Laporte's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Timeout.
Welcome back to Show Laporte's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com. Lobos up 14-0 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter as the impending snap was getting ready. The referee on the far side, on CDO's side, came over and whistled a very quick timeout. So the Dorados will take their first timeout as the Lobos are getting ready to start their drive on their own 35-yard line. And Abe, you had mentioned at the break something about going big. Can you tell me what you're seeing there with the Lobos?
Yeah, so in talking with a few of the players and coaches this week again, they talked about just wanting to exert their dominance on the line and especially in the run game. Both backs this year, I think I saw a stat. Canton Turley's got 748 yards on the year. Carter Raven's got 690-something. So they really felt like that was going to be their strong suit tonight, and they've continued to go that route. A lot of the times you've seen the Lobos go 3 wide, and tonight they've been stacking that box with tight ends.
As there's the give to Raven, as Raven's going to get a gain of 5, and he's going to push his way to a gain of 7 on the play as Carter Raven's going to go +7 for the Lobos, and that's going to bring up a second down and, we're going to say short 3. As Abe, I think the Lobos are actually doing exactly what the Dorados want to do, except again, the Dorados, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We're going to come back and talk about that. We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Show Laporte's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Want to go skiing or snowboarding? Visit our friendly Honda Outdoor Sports. We offer skis, snowboards, and helmet rentals, custom footbeds, ski and snowboard repairs, as well as retail shopping for your snow gear, goggles, beanies, snow tubing, and even ice fishing supplies. We have all you need to prepare you for the outdoors. We welcome you to Honda Outdoor Sports, located 1 mile west of the casino.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you. Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Welcome back to Show Laporte's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com as we got to run down our sponsors here before we get started. Sholo Ford, Ace Hardware, Honda Ski and Outdoor, Northline Pioneer College, Horn Auto Center, Summit Regional Medical Center. Summit Regional Medical Center, get your athlete back in the game fast. As now we have a halfback pass from Olberg. Olberg throws it down, and that's going to be overthrown. And we're going to get a flag by the linesman on that side. It looked like there was a little contact. I'm not sure we can get a replay. Comfort Fit Dentures, Horn Auto Center, and Mountain Mobile Auto Glasses. We're going to look at the replay, and it looked like there was a little hand going on the back, Judge. Kind of was, but the linesman seemed to throw it, so we're going to see what we have here as the officiating crew is going to get together and confer.
Yeah, Christian Smith was trying to go up there. I think they might be talking a little bit, Aaron, on whether or not that ball was even catchable.
There is no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school.
Okay,
which is interesting because you see that on Saturdays and Sundays, but in high school it doesn't follow itself through. However, there is some judgment to discern with that, but it would be more of a defensive holding type call, and I'm not sure how they're looking. Here we go. We'll see if he puts.
We have offsetting fouls on the play. Pass interference, offense number 1. Pass interference, defense, those penalties offset. Still second down.
And I like that call. I like that call. Sometimes
just sort of replay the down and see
replay the down and see what happens. But sometimes I like when the officiating crew gets together, they discuss it. This is what I saw. This is what I saw. That was a great job of the crew to get that call right and keep the game moving here. Is 2nd down and 3 for the Lobos. Familiar set for Leduc as Leduc gives it Turley. Turley up the middle, and Turley breaks it through. As Kent now brings down to the 32-yard line as he's going to get a gain of about 25 for Turley. And the Lobos just absolutely dominating both sides of the ball right now as they start this second quarter up 14-0. And Canyon Del Oro has no answer for anything right now. And maybe that long drive up the canyon's wearing on him. Probably that big dinner they had in Sholo's wearing on him. The cold and the season.
You asked me earlier, Aaron, how quickly that offensive line would exert their dominance. I did not expect it to be here in the second quarter or even in that late first quarter, but it seems like that's the case right now.
Leduc split back set. Now Leduc sits in the pocket. Leduc's going to be hit hard, and he's going to be sacked. As Leduc's going to go down, that's going to be a loss of 3 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 13. And it didn't look like he had much of a chance. It looked like he stepped up, and it was right there as we watched the replay on that one. As time starting to tick away in the second quarter. And back to your point, Abe, I agree. I didn't expect it to be. I expected it to be more of a third quarter thing, coming up the altitude, the mountain, and losing a little bit of gas in that second half. But the Lobos actually have started pushing around those Dorado linemen very quickly, even to start this second quarter.
For sure. And it's surprising to me, Aaron, but Lobos, they've got 2 great running backs, and they see holes really well. Speaking of which, here goes Canton again.
Here goes Turley again. He bounces it, doesn't go down the first time. He hits, he goes, and that's going to be another gain of about 8 on the play for Turley, as Turley's going to bring it across, and
there's a flag there at the end.
There's a flag at the end. I'm not sure what that's going to
We'll see if this goes against the Lobos. You saw Cody Flake on that replay right in the middle of your screen. He just they might get him for holding. I don't know. It's hard to know, Aaron, but I think they're probably going to get Cody for something.
Offense, number 64.
That's exactly what they're going to get him for.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 2nd down.
Yeah, our camera crew got a great angle on the replay. You just saw Cody just pick the guy up and put him on his back, and
basically
tough call for the Lobos, but probably a holding.
He probably got a gain of about 8 on the play, and then that holding was a spot foul, which was right at the end of that play, which negated it and backed it up. So the Lobos are 2nd and 15 as Leduc goes into his 2-back set. Give is to Rabin. No, it isn't to Rabin. It's over, and that
almost picked.
That was almost picked. It was intended for number 21. That was Graham Silverhorn. It didn't look like Silverhorn was ready for the ball, but it looked like Leduc kind of sailed it over the top during that play. So
yeah, it's Silverhorn's running about a 5-7 yard out, and you see it right there on the replay. Leduc just sort of sails it a little bit, almost right into the hands of number 12. That's Cash Dickey.
As Leduc bringing the Lobos back to 3rd and 15, unfamiliar territory. 3 receivers to the right. That's going to be a screen pass in the middle. That is caught by Olberg, and Olberg's going to be brought down, and that's going to be 4th down for the Lobos. I think a little bit out of field goal range, but up 14. Do you put in and try that right here?
I think you try it with Sammy. He's got a
Where's
good
the wind coming from?
It is coming from his back right here.
Well, I'm looking at the flags, and the flags are going that way, so why not?
Sammy's got good enough leg to at least get it to the end zone right and call it and get a touch back here for you at the very worst.
It's going to be at the 46-yard line, and we're going from the spot of the kick. So this is the 56-yard field goal attempt with the wind.
This would be a school record, Aaron.
This would be a school record. As Brown sets up and holds by Flake. There's Brown. The kick is up.
That's got enough, Aaron.
And it's got enough.
That's going to go.
And that is going to go for
Sammy.
I don't even know what to say, but the field goal is good. We're going to keep it here for a little bit. Sam Brown just puts a School record for the Snowflake Lobos through the uprights. I don't even care if it was wind aided or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes in high school, those are more exciting as it goes. And Abe, that could have cleared from 60.
He booted that.
As let's look at the replay again. Here's down. Good hold by Flake. It's up. And Abe, that was good from 60. That is an amazing job by that young man. Congratulations to Sam Brown. And, you know, Abe, I'm just going to say, because of that might be in line for our Horn Auto Center drive of the half. And I'm just going to say, and I'm not going to, but how many times do special team players get love for being a player of the game?
Yeah.
And if Brown's going to have, because I don't think that's the last time the Lobos are going to try to do that tonight.
Oh, yeah,
and with the wind. And so we're going to get ourselves a Northland Pioneer College kickoff when it comes time to kick off your college education. Kick it off the college with the lowest tuition in the state. That's Northland Pioneer College, locations in Navajo and Apache County. Northland Pioneer College. As Brown tees it up and kicks it, and this one's going to go sail into the end zone about 7 yards deep. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a 30-second break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. Gobble up all of these savings with our Black Friday deals going on all month long. Like our very last 2024 2500 Chevy Duramax, $7,000 off. And we have a half-ton 2024 four-wheel drive crew cab RST, $12,200 off. Come on over to Horn Auto Center on the Deuce of Clubs or go to hornauto.com. We are the GMC Chevy store that saved you more.
Welcome back to Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com as Strang, our quarterback for the Dorados, as he sends Luke in motion. And that give's going to be right up the middle, and there is no answer up the middle there for the Snowflake Lobos as Derek Palmer, our good friend, giving us an update on the Arizona College Prep game. Arizona College Prep 7, Estrella 7 in the second quarter. And we're going to be looking to go update you on a couple more games. The one of interest in the area is the Round Valley Elk are taking on the ALA West Foothills team down in Waddell tonight, as we're going to look up and see if we can get a score on that one. As look to get an update there.
Oh, good tackle there by the Lobos. They just ganged up on him there.
As we go in tonight coming out in their single back set, the Dorados, as who's going to come in for the stop there, Abe?
That was Brent White, number 60.
That's Brent White, number 60. And Brent, we haven't called Brent's name much tonight, but nonetheless, Brent has been a force to be reckoned with on that line all year, and he has anchored that defensive end spot extremely well throughout this season, and the Lobos sitting in the position they are and the defense they are because of him. And how nice is it that the Lobos are able to go to these, platooning. We see the offensive line sitting down there looking at video and film as the defensive line comes over. And the Elk are down 7-0 in the second quarter. Thank you, Mr. Palmer, for that update as well. As Strang gets set, and Strang goes, and he's going to go, and he's going to be dropped by Andrew Bentley. And Bentley, I believe, is getting close to a school record in sacks, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like I saw on Twitter this week from Snowflake Lobo football that he said it last week against.
Okay, I was not aware,
right,
but I know that it was.
He had been chasing it for two games. Finally said it last week against Sierra Linda. But
as the Dorados are going to come in with a 4th and 15, familiar territory for them. However, they did not commit a penalty this time to get him that far behind the sticks. So the double six will come. Here's the punt. Oberg sitting back at the 40-yard line, which is actually quite a bit shallow. Usually the punts have been about 40, 45 as he's going to go, and that's going to be perfect right to Oberg. He was in the right spot. As Oberg comes up the middle, he's going to go. He's going to return it about 5 yards where he's going to be brought down at the 32-yard line, drop back a little bit as the Lobos are going to take over in Lobo territory with the chance to put another score up with 7 minutes and 1 second left here in this first half. The score 17-0 in favor of the Lobos.
Well, great field position for the Lobos. Best of the evening so far is that punt. To your point, Aaron, I really thought that punt, you would have expected that thing out to around the 50 or so, but as it was, Merrick fields it at the 40 and gets it out close to the 30.
We got an update from the Yuma Catholic game after this play as double back set goes to Leduc. Leduc hands to Turley. Turley hits it to the outside. Turley makes a cut back in. Now he's down to about the 12-yard line, and Turley is knocked out of bounds as Yuma Catholic up on Combs 14-0. Very, I kind of thought that one was going to happen. Yuma Catholic is a hard place to play.
It is. Well, Combs, I mean, I know you're in the valley, South Valley, Santan Valley if you're Combs, but that's still a brutal road trip.
Here's the give by Leduc to Rabin, and Rabin is going to be cut short. And I don't know, Abe, as I'm watching this, to me it seems like the Dorados are keying more on Rabin than they are on Turley.
Yeah.
I don't think the line is any more less effective on that side. I just think for some reason they're seeing something that they caught on film that is getting them after Carter Rabin. And
well, they might not want to give up the big breakaway speed to Rabin, right? I mean, Canton's quick in his own right, but Canton's more of your bruiser running back, right? Whereas Rabin's your
more your finesse.
More your finesse. Let's break a few guys' ankles and get up the field.
Canton and Turley split backs for Leduc. There's the give to, the fake to Turley, and there's going to go Leduc to the outside. He looks to pass, now he gets to the 10, the 5, and Leduc's going to be stopped very short by about the, I'm going to say that's about the 3-yard line as Micah Mountain up 21-0 on Coco.
That's going to be first and goal, though, Aaron. They did get the
That is going to be first and goal, and the clock winds, so time ticks down as 6 minutes on the clock. Another thing I was saying, as we're going to have Turley and Rabin on each side of Leduc, and it looks like we're going to line up here for QB sneak up the middle as Dorados go, as Leduc's going to go forward, and he's going to be stopped.
Touchdown.
They call it a touchdown. He's not going to be stopped.
Leduc
can't be denied as Leduc's in for about a 2-yard jaunt, as that's going to put another score up for the Lobos. That makes it 23-0 in favor of the Snowflake Lobos as we bring on the PAT team. But, Abe, one of the things I think is, even if Carter isn't getting those big runs and that breakaway speed, even if he's getting 1, 2, 3 yards, that's allowing Turley to get those other yards up the middle. So it's a team effort right now, and everything Carter's doing is helping Turley get what he's getting. So, good job on the play calling by the Lobos this evening. As Flake's going to hold Judd Flake, and Sam, we're going to get another penalty, and we're going to get an encroachment on CDO. And I think the Lobos have the holding penalty. Let me check my notes.
Yes.
I think the Lobos have the holding penalty, and I think
they had a false start.
6.
Number 60.
Yeah. They did have a false start, so they have 2 penalties to CDO's 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And so, all right, here's Flake to hold, Brown to kick. As snap, hold a little bit, put it up, and it is through the uprights. We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back, Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com as we're going to have a Northland Pioneer College kickoff. One of the times to kick off your college education. Kick it off with the college with the lowest tuition in the state as Sam Brown puts it in the air, and that's going to go for the automatic touchback behind the goal line. Ball will be brought out to the 20 as we're going to take a look at some scores here. ACP is now up 10-7 on the Estrella Foothills Wolves. Prescott is up 14-0 on Vista Grande, who the Lobos would coincidentally have next week. Micah Mountain up on Coconino, that is.
Yeah.
For those of you not familiar with Coco.
That one's 21-0.
21-0. Yuma Catholic up 14-0 on Combs. And the Elk down 7-0. The plural of elk is elk, by the way. As Stang, make sure I get his name right. Strang comes in as quarterback, and we're going to have another penalty. This time it's going to go against the Lobos. So Lobos with a rare defensive penalty, actually a rare penalty in this game, as that is their third. Looks like we're going to have, number 54 for the Lobos. Might have jumped. That's Porter Reed.
And Victor Woodside, 75, coming in to replace him, not that
as
nose tackle position.
Strang having, I believe that's number 8. As Strang drops back, throws to the middle, and that's number 34, Greer. Greer is going to get over, and Greer's going to fall. They're not calling him down. And so that's going to be recovered.
That might go. Oh,
that looks like it was recovered by number 24.
Is that Jet Smith?
Jet Smith. We're going to have to look at the replay here.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm not sure if he was down or not. It's so hard to tell.
Good tackle.
Here's the replay.
I think it was Riker Brimhall. Yeah, you see 7 come in.
So he goes. That ball was out. That ball was
Riker.
absolutely out. Great job by the line, the back judge, and the umpire for seeing that. That's Lobo ball, first down. And I apologize for the White Mountain bias for those of you listening in Tucson. We enjoy our football teams in the area. We are rivals against each other. We don't like each other. But when it comes to the end of the day, we kind of all do root for each other in a good way.
Well, great hit there by Riker as he jars the ball loose. And that puts the Lobos in business again here, Aaron.
That could be our Deemer's glass-shattering hit of the game. That's Turley with the ball. No. Is that Oberg? Oberg goes in, and Oberg's going to sneak in.
Looks like he stepped
out. They have him stepping out.
At the half-yard line, it looks like, Aaron, from what I can see on the spot. So real quick, let's just go back to that hit by Riker. We talked about it at the top. Riker missed last week due to injury. He's been battling an injured foot all year, and man, good to have him back. He turns the tide here early in this first half.
As Raven's going to go and take it, and Raven's just kind of hit right at the line of scrimmage and tackled over the top. I
think that was Booth, Big Mason Booth, senior, 6'2", 209.
I know that the Lobos are kind of pushing around a little bit, but I'm telling you right now, I am very impressed with the way the Dorados have handled being down this much. As the timeout has been called on the field, we're going to go ahead and take a 30-second break here. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Injury timeout, 5 minutes and 5 seconds left here. Lobos up 24-0, threatening to score again, 2nd and 1. As we're going to come back from our break here, as one of the Dorados was walked off the field. We can't get a number.
Eli Unsworth.
Eli Unsworth.
Yes.
As LeDuc's going to go under center, Turley with his hand in the dirt. As Turley's going to get the ball, he's going to go in, and that's going to be a touchdown for Canton Turley. As the Lobos are going to extend this lead 30-0 with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left. PAT to follow. And Abe, safe to say the route might be on. Yeah. I just don't see a team coming back from this kind of punishment on these type of scenario in the first half, as Brown's going to be on to attempt the PAT.
And especially with as good as the Lobo defense has been all year, Aaron, they've led the 4A in most defensive categories, or been at least in the top 2 or 3. And that'll be a tough order for the Dorados to come back from this hole. And that's been something we've talked about a little bit in breaks. The Lobos have not started fast the last 4 or 5 weeks. And we talked about it at the top. They felt maybe a little bit slighted going from that 1 position down to the 3. They came out with some fire tonight, Aaron. They're still playing with a lot of fire, being up 31-0. But they came out with something to prove, it looks like, tonight.
Well, and that's as Brown's in to attempt the extra point, and that's going to be a Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown, as well as we're going to call it a Comfort Fit Dentures PAT here. As before Brown tees it up here, ACP's up 17-7. Arcadia 11, Seton 8. That's an interesting story to get to. ALA West Foothills up 14-0 on Round Valley. And so we appreciate those coming from our normal iTalk voice, Derek Palmer. As Brown sets tee it up, Brown down the field, and it's going to be a touchback. And that one darn near went out of the back of the end zone for Brown. He's loving having that wind to kick with. And Abe, as we talked about those pooch kicks they were doing, maybe it was because they were against the wind and didn't, but at the same time, have Brown kick that ball up there and have it hang and let your guys get down and get under it. But 31-0 is just not a position where you go, these are the things we need to work on. Right now, I think it's about 1, staying healthy, and 2, how much on film do you want to show going into that Prescott matchup next week, where Prescott's ahead right now? We're not sure it's going to be the Badgers, but very interesting that a couple of years ago they went through Prescott and CDO to make it to the state championship game, and ironically, to be CDO to Prescott to make it to the semifinals this year.
As we were talking about it too. You and I called the game 2 years ago.
Yeah, we did.
CDO and Snowflake. So
as there's a false start, and that's going to be marked off as Strang's going to go over, and he's looking over to get a play, and the coach just waved him back on the field like, oh, nope, run it. So we're going to mark off 5. It's going to be 1st and 5 for the Dorados. And Strang going to be in there at quarterback. I believe that is that number 7 or number 8 behind him, or is that number 34? And that's going to be Greer. As the ball's going to be thrown out of bounds, and it's going to fall incomplete, as it's going to be 2nd and 5 for the Dorados.
Is that not intentional grounding in high school, Aaron?
That one was thrown out of bounds.
In the pocket like that?
You could say they could say there was a receiver in the area. They could say there was someone coming back to the ball. But what they're doing now is they talked about it, and they're saying, okay, that's where it was. The referee looked. The referee looked where the line of scrimmage was. The referee's seen if the ball made it back to the line of scrimmage, and the referee's looking. He's calling intentional grounding. Number 18.
Offense, number 18.
And that's going to be a 5-yard
5 yards from the spot of the foul.
But it's a loss of down.
Loss of down. 2nd down.
Perfect.
So, and I've seen this more than a few times where a grounding is such a penalty you don't want to get wrong. But there's so many things that have to happen. And so after the play, the white hat and the umpire and looked like the linesman got together and said, okay, it met these criterias. We're going to drop the flag to call it grounding. I witnessed a JV game this year where it was maybe a freshman game where we had something similar, and the criteria was met, and it became a grounding call. So great call by the officiating crew as they were able to get that call right. And now the Dorados back in that long, 2nd and long, that's put them behind the sticks, unsuccessful all night, as they're going to go, and that's going to be caught.
Wow.
And we're going to have to get a number on that one, and that's number 10 or number 18 for the Dorados.
Well, that 18's their quarterback. I think it was 10.
Was it number 10?
Let's see on the replay here. Man, what a catch there.
That's Coulter.
Oh, that's 12. Sorry.
12. I can't even see. Their numbers are. I'm going to start looking at the replay monitor because our camera crew's doing such a good job of getting one. That is number 12. That is Cash Dickey. As that's going to be a first down for Cash Dickey and the Dorados as Strang comes back in. Strang with Greer behind him. He's got number 12, Dickey, out to the side. And that's going to be a rare first down in this first half for the Dorados. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. Drop back. That's going to be caught by Greer. And back out of the backfield, Greer's going to go for a gain of 3 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Dorados.
Lobos looked like they were coming off the end with a blitz there by JoJo Lerma, but then he sucked into coverage. Strang saw it, went the opposite direction, but we'll see what the Lobos do here. They might look to dial up some pressure as the Dorados are moving the ball a bit.
Well, the Dorados finding a few holes here and going through. So now we're going to have Strang roll to his right as he's being chased by Nichols. Nichols is going to miss the tackle on the feet as there goes Strang. He goes down. He slides down right under the 40-yard line. They're actually going to spot him at the 38 where he started that slide. That's going to be spotted right in the middle of the field, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Dorados. And honestly, that's one of the few times I've seen Nichols miss.
Yeah, that was Nichols came on the middle linebacker blitz, and man, him and Andrew Bentley just sort of collided. I think bumped each other off of the tackle of Strang there.
There's Stang with his familiar Greer behind him. 2 receivers to his left, now 2 receivers to his right after the motion. Give us to Greer. Greer goes over the top, and that's going to be short of the first down as the linesmen respond at the 39-yard line. And first down looks like it's right at the 40, so they're going to be a yard short. And this is going to bring up decision time for the Dorados. Although down 31-0, Abe, I have to see them going for it right here.
Looks like they're lining up for it here, Aaron, as Strang gets the call from the sideline. He's motioning a few guys
They do have timeouts. I do expect possibly a we're going to fake you out type thing.
Lobos are playing pretty soft in the secondary, so maybe a quick hitch. Strang looking to get his call here. I think if you're the Lobos, you got to bring some pressure again with Nichols. Looks like maybe he's thinking about it as he's creeping up onto the line.
As the play clock's counting down, and we're going to have a timeout as that play clock counted down. We're going to go ahead and take it, folks. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Welcome back, Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com. Sholo Ford, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Sholo Ford, Summit Healthcare, getting your athlete back in the game. Ace Hardware with our keys to the game. Northland Pioneer College with our kickoffs. And our Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown sponsor. Comfort Fit Dentures. Getting a lot of work tonight.
Yeah.
With the Lobos. Honda Ski and Outdoor. They're going to sponsor our halftime show coming up. Horn Auto Center with our drive of the game. And we're just going to go. We are possibly considering the Sam Brown field goal our drive of the game, because how exciting is it to get that? And then, of course, we have Deemer's Glass with our glass-shattering hit of the game, as well as our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass player of the game. Dorados back on offense, 4th and short, gives the middle, and that's going to be over first down, and he's going to get a couple more, as that's going to dive over the line, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Dorados. Abe, if you're the Dorados, and I know this is so cliche, you have to get on the board before that halftime ticks to 0.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Aaron. I'm sure during the timeout they talked about that. Hey, guys, we're going to get our first down right here, and then we're going to go pedal to the metal. We've got to put points up before half to try to shift a little bit of momentum. And the Lobos defense will need to buckle down right here. You know, they do take a lot of pride in throwing up zeros on that scoreboard. For a while there, the starting defense did not allow a touchdown. I think it was, a couple games into the year. So they're really trying to take a look and make sure that they're doing things the right way all the time. Here goes Lerma off the end.
Back to pass. Lerma on the blitz, and Lerma misses. However, he's going to be corralled in the middle. Sting's going to be corralled, and we're going to have to give credit to that one. Is that number 58?
I think that was Bentley, yeah.
That was Bentley again. And Abe,
Lerma sort of held on there near the end. He's held on, but, yeah, Andrew came in and finished the deal.
Abe, to your point, talking about these Dorados, one of the things I didn't notice, because we obviously don't see them. They're in the Tucson area, and we don't see them. And we don't hear about them as much because we're paying attention to 2A, 3A, 4A now, and all this is one of the things I see about the Dorados is this is a young team that's building off that state championship team.
Yeah.
And I think they're just looking for a little bit of moral victories tonight, but as we get another false start on the Dorados, as they're not able to, get that one, so they're going to back it up 5.
Well, and that's been really the story of the game so far for them offensively.
Prior to the snap, full start, offense number 1.
That's going to back them up another 5.
5-yard penalty.
3 or 4 penalties ago,
Second
we said
down.
they had 6, right? They probably have.
They probably have 10 or 11.
9 to 10, maybe 11
I don't
penalties.
have an exact penalty count, but yeah.
It's been tough. False starts, encroachments, just little things here or there that when you are a young team playing arguably one of the best teams in all of 4A.
Yes.
You're just trying so hard to make things go, and those are just penalties that are mental mistakes more than
and they're
anything.
staying with the pass over the middle. He's going to get it complete, and that's going to be still about 5 yards short to the original line of scrimmage. And I think we might get a roughing the passer penalty, which, Abe, if you can tell me, let's see what we get here. I think this might be a roughing the passer.
JoJo's sort of throwing his hands up, and
so
he
let's
was the
see.
one coming on the blitz.
Well,
so you might be right, Aaron.
I'm not sure.
They're marking it off against Snowflake, but
Personal foul. Defense, number 58. Unnecessary roughness.
Okay, it's unnecessary
15
roughness.
yards from the end of the run results in a
15
first
tacked
down.
on for a first down. So it wasn't roughing the passer, but Abe, if you can tell me in high school, the automatic first down penalties.
Ooh. Is defensive holding one
No.
like it was in the BYU-Utah game last week?
No, let me tell you. Roughing the passer,
Okay.
roughing the holder,
Okay.
roughing the kicker, and roughing the snapper are the only 4 automatic first down penalties in high school. Now, most of the time you get a 15-yard and it moves the chains anyway.
Right.
Those are the only ones distinguished as automatic. And as we talked about before the game, even before we started our pregame show, is that
good
Sting.
catch.
Sting's going to go, and they're going to call that a catch right there, and that's going to be
I think that's
about
Douglas
a
again.
6-yard game, and that is on Douglas.
Oh, that ball bounced off the turf.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
hey,
great-
the
great
officials
shot by our replay
do not have the advantage of replay. And so that reminds me of that
know.
scene in Friday Night Lights, that 20-year-old movie where misses at the state championship game and they get together and,
Our biggest fan of iTalk is a buddy of mine, Jarrett Pack, down in Queen Creek. I'll have to ask him to text me if he feels like that was
okay
off the turf or not. It looked to me like it was.
It is, but we have the advantage of replay
100
times
stick.
over. That's going to be a great job by Aaden Coor to get that out of the way. Let's see if we can get a replay on that one.
Man, Aaden
as
just continues to
Stang
bring it.
drops back, and Aaden didn't really get a hand on it. It's just Aiden's so dangerous going in there that he really didn't want to catch that ball.
Yeah.
But something we had talked about before the game, Abe, is we had talked about the teams and the dynamics, and we didn't even realize how young. I mean, CDO is playing with a sophomore quarterback now. So are the Lobos, but the Lobos are going to lose 27 seniors.
Yeah.
And I still think I don't even think they rebuild. I think they reload next year and are going to be a good football team. But CDO, I think, might be taking this as a little bit as, hey, we're going to go up. We're going to play our best game, although penalties isn't showing their best game. As Stang drops back, Stang looks. Now he's rushed. He's now out of the pocket to his left, being chased by Bentley. He throws over, and that's going to go off the hands. And it's stuff like that, Abe, as I believe that was number 8?
I couldn't tell who was trying to catch the ball
Was that
there.
Greer?
We'll see on the replay here. Might be number 7 up here at the top of your screen. If so, that's Bauer.
And Bauer had caught one earlier, but going off the tips, and Bauer's a senior, but a lot of these, young mistakes are being made by the CDO team. I'm guessing a lot of the jumps on the line are by these young players. And this is a state championship team coming back. And I think that using this to build and using this to move to the future of their program is going to be huge for them. And like I say, they do play some very tough competition down there in that North Tucson area.
Well, and if you're the Lobos, that's sort of what's building on a 10-0 game a 10-0 season this year. Almost all of your offensive line were back. The majority of your defense was back from last year. That junior to senior year in football is a big jump.
Well, and sorry to interrupt you, but just to your point right here, we get a delay a game, and that's not something that you normally see on seasoned teams.
Yeah.
And I know you can say, well, we don't have play clocks up. There's not that play clock ticking down, but everybody knows that's on that field when that back judge puts that hand 5 up, you have 5 seconds to snap that ball. Yep. You can either call timeout or you can take the delay a game. So now it is 4th down, and we got, I'm going to say, a long 8 to go as Stang gets back, as trying to draw the Lobos off sides. 41 seconds left here in the first half. 31-0 in favor of the Snowflake Lobos. Lobos will receive the second half kickoff, by the way. They're Stang dropping back. Bentley with a spin move inside, Stang into the pocket to the middle, and he is going to be incomplete.
By Merrick.
And that's a good defense by Merrick Olbergs. We watch it on the replay. Over the top, and I believe that was intended for number 10. And number 10 is Brady Kearns, a 5'9 junior, as that's going to be a turnover on downs for the Lobos. Do you see the Lobos going for it here with 2 timeouts or one timeout pause? They might even have all 3.
I do, Aaron. They've been really aggressive in these situations all year. I would be surprised if we don't see Leduc try to air out at least one pass.
Well, 3 timeouts, get it into field goal range and let Bentley have another job, because those flags on top of the goalposts are blowing about what they were.
Yeah.
And if Bentley's range, we think he could be a 60-yarder if we needed to.
Yeah.
Here's Leduc. Rabin to his left. Leduc throws it over, and that is to
Smith.
And Smith makes a cut. Now back in. And that's going to stop the clock briefly for the first down. But as soon as that ball's set, so we're going to see if the Lobos take a timeout here. They might. I don't know what they're going to do, okay? It looks like they are taking the timeout. We just got an update from Seton. Seton's up 15-7. We're going to go ahead and leave it here because we got our halftime show coming up. And looking at
sort of like what they just did, though, Aaron. We talked about that. Take a shot in the air, see what happens. And here you are now at the 38-yard line. That's about that. Well, Sam kicked it from what? The 31, 32 when he got the first field goal. So, you're only another 10 yards before you're within his range again. So, and still plenty of time, 28 seconds. That's more than enough time to maybe try and up the top, try to take the top off the defense with a Merrick Olberg.
Well, my point is I'm thinking of it in terms of if you get down there and you can put a touchdown in and make it 37-0, that means that the start of the second half we are at a running clock. Then the score goes out the window.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because you have a running clock. That's less plays being run. That's less chances of your guys getting hurt. And it just opens up the game for, not showing a ton on film as Leduc throws it out to Olberg. as Olberg's going to be dropped, and we're going to give him no gain on the play, as we're going to get a clock stop. We're going to get another timeout by the Lobos. And I think the Lobos might be content to just let Brown try another one of those field goals.
Timeout.
Maybe see if they can pick up a little bit more yardage. If they could get it out to the 30, that would be ideal. But, 21 seconds to go. I think there's still enough time to run at least a few plays, especially with one timeout left. So,
coming up on our Honda Ski and Outdoor halftime show, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the 4A bracket, as well as talk about our first half action, as we've kind of been talking about it all along, but want to hit on a couple of our points, and especially the fast start for the Lobos. So we're going to talk about the fast start for the Snowflake Lobos, as well as we're going to dive into that 4A bracket and talk about some of the games, maybe some of our predictions, maybe some of the things we've seen. Again, I'm Aaron Hewish with Abe Bodden. You're listening to High School Football presented by Sholo Ford on iTalk 106.7, KNKI Pine Top Sholo, a Kopaniki Communication. And there's Leduc. Leduc rolls to his right. Now he's back to number
Good
one.
Play.
And that's going to be a lot of room for number one. And that is going to go down as that's going to be number one for the Snowflake Lobos, Christian Smith, in for the touchdown. And that will start us off the second half with a running clock, as the score is now going to be 37, pending the extra point to 38, as this is nowhere near, Abe, what I was expecting a running clock, because I'm looking at these other scores rolling in, and we're not in a position right now where this game, we're one of the few games that is showing to be a blowout.
Man, Aaron, what a beautiful play design right there by the Lobos, as they got everyone going
to the right
side,
and then Leduc comes back.
One defender left over here on Christian Smith with a couple of big blockers out there, Ethan Christensen, along with another guy. I think it was maybe Ezra Baum. I couldn't tell if it was 6 or what number, but what a great play design there by Coach Reddick, the offensive coordinator, and you said it, Aaron. I don't know. An hour ago, if you had asked me that this is where we'd be, I would have told you no.
Brown with the extra point, by the way.
Goes to show what I know. So
well, and you know, Abe, you still have to play the game. No matter what the situation is, the game has to be played, whether it's a blowout, whether it's close. We've all and there's a little more parity at the upper ranks. There's a little more parity at the 4A than maybe there's the little more than the 5A at the 4A than the 4A and the 6A, whatever it is. There's more in college than there is in high school. But the fact of the matter is, these are teenage boys making decisions and doing the best they can. So maybe there's not as much parity, but you still have to play the game, and the ultimate goal is to do your best and try to win. As Brown knocks it back, and that's going to go into the end zone over the head, and that's going to put the Dorados on the 20-yard line to start a drive with 12 seconds left, and one timeout with the score, Snowflake 38, the Lobos 38, the Dorados 0, as we're going to go into halftime. And
we talked about it, too, on that last drive for the Dorados, right, Aaron? They needed to be the ones to come down and score. They needed that from a momentum shift. They needed that for confidence to build on something going into halftime. And, Lobos, they just did an amazing job of getting that ball back, managing timeouts, great play calling, and they throw another 7 up on the board here to go 38-0 in the half.
As Turley is going to go down as the leading rusher, Olberg's going to be the leading receiver for the Lobos as we get it over, and I think if I'm CDO, I'm just saying, okay, we're done.
Yep,
let's take it to halftime as we're going to tick down. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back and give you our Honda Ski and Outdoor halftime show. This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable. Always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Want to go skiing or snowboarding? Visit our friendly Honda Outdoor Sports. We offer skis, snowboards, and helmet rentals, custom footbeds, ski and snowboard repairs, as well as retail shopping for your snow gear, goggles, beanies, snow tubing, and even ice fishing supplies. We have all you need to prepare you for the outdoors. We welcome you to Honda Outdoor Sports, located 1 mile west of the casino.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you. Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. Gobble up all of these savings with our Black Friday deals going on all month long, like our very last 2024 2500 Chevy Duramax, $7,000 off, and we have a half-ton 2024 four-wheel drive crew cab RST, $12,200 off. Come on over to Horn Auto Center on the Deuce of Clubs or go to hornauto.com. We are the GMC Chevy store that saved you more.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Welcome back to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com as we get set for our Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260 just before you get to the Honda Casino. And hey, before we delve into some other things, let's take a look at our first half as Olberg and Smith, the leading receivers for the Lobos. Smith on that last touchdown run. Olberg having a slight advantage on him. And as far as Rabin and Turley are concerned, Turley is the leading rusher for the Lobos, with Rabin not far behind, but not close, as Turley going in and equal in other categories. But we got a little bit of an update. Go ahead and give us an update on that field goal.
So we had called the field goal at 56. Special team coach Jim Johnson actually gave it to us. It was 51. So Sam is going to be 1 yard shy of the record. But yeah, what an amazing kick, though.
And
it was still awesome, and I was super excited for it.
I agree.
A great kick.
And that record is still held by Sam Crockett.
Sam Crockett. I think he set it 4 years ago or
in the Round Valley Dome. So, in the dome, up at the altitude, here with the wind, doesn't matter. In high school football, long field goals are still exciting.
Yeah.
As kind of talking about the first half, Abe, is you did not expect, and were telling me even before we went on the air, you did not expect the Lobos to start fast.
Yeah.
And 2 blinks of an eye, we thought we were going to have that, and then they didn't. And they started fast, but then I also have to credit their defense, but I also have to – the defense's helper tonight was the penalties that CDO had.
Yeah, we called it right before the first half, Aaron, or right before the end of the first half. We feel like it's got to be close to 11 or 12 penalties now at this point on the Dorados, and it's just hard when you're playing behind the sticks against a really good defense on the road in cold weather that you're not used to. It's a tough uphill battle for these Dorados playing up here tonight. But, there's no quitting them. They actually put together a pretty good drive there to try to finish out the half and go get some points. But once again, they just ran into a couple of penalties and into that staunch Lobo defense. And Snowflake's able to get the ball back. They went 45-ish yards in 30 or 41 seconds.
Yep, something like that.
And scored a touchdown, which, you look at it and you go, okay, well, why are they still trying to score? They're up 31-0. But to your point, it's sort of like baseball. I equate it to baseball, right? The 10-run rule in baseball, that's when you sort of call the dogs off. Once you get to the running clock in high school football, that's when you call the dogs off. I don't expect the Lobos to necessarily do that right out of the gate in the third quarter, but you'll start to see some substitutions happening. You'll see some second-teamers coming in for the Lobos and go from there.
And I really like that point, Abe, because I always like using other sports analogies. Like when you and I have sat and watched soccer games, we've joked, it's 14-7 in the fourth quarter, when in reality it's 2-1, and we're going into the last 10 minutes of the game. So using other sports analogies. And the one thing I will say to that point is I totally agree with you in the baseball analogy. It's like the 10-run rule. However, the beauty of baseball is there's no clock.
Yeah,
there is a clock here, and it is a running clock, so we can get in and get out. The other thing with baseball is we don't have the potential for injury, and the last thing you want is your first teamer in there on I'm going to call it garbage time, even though that's not something we should say, and getting hurt because of that. And so as much as I want to compare them, it feels very different.
Yeah.
It's an interesting game because, like baseball, softball, everybody's got to stand in there and take their. Here, it's like we can take 40 seconds on the clock and run that time down as much as possible. So, but I do agree with what you're saying, and let's get some of the second teamers. Sometimes we're going to be calling some names. Positives, though, for the Dorados. One is I think they're looking to rebuild. Their quarterback is only a sophomore. Is there anybody else on that roster, maybe Bauer, maybe Greer, that has stuck out to you? It's been a bright spot for the Dorados this evening.
Well, their running back, Alexander's looked good. He's a junior, so he'll be back next year. They've had
D'Angelo has done a very good job for them.
There was another one too. Cash Dickey, he's had a few good plays. That catch along the sideline for him,
that was a very good catch.
That was legit, they're
Dickey's
building,
a junior.
Yeah, as you look
Alexander's
down their roster,
a junior.
They've got a lot of juniors and sophomores.
Well, in their
for
line, it doesn't look. I see one senior.
Yeah.
These guys are a team that, unfortunately, they're going to remember this game, and they're going to be like, hey, remember our sophomore year? We had to go to Snowflake and play. We're not going to let that happen again. And so maybe it's a good thing for them, and a good coach will build off that. I believe they did lose some of their coaching staff, too, from what I understand. So, anyway.
And you know as well as I do from coaching, Aaron, that plays a lot for you in the offseason, right? Like if you lose in the playoffs, especially in a first round, it plays a lot with the kids.
Yeah.
It did this year for the Lobos. They went down, played a hard-fought game last year against Micah Mountain, come up short as they are going in for a game-tying score. Rough penalty call, Lobo faithful, remember all that. But bottom line is you lose the game. But these guys, these juniors, the Ethan Christensens, the Brock Bjorns, the Cody Flakes, Aaden Coors, those guys all remember that. And it fueled them all during the offseason. My son played this year for the first time since his freshman year. And it was a big thing for the coaching staff to talk to these kids constantly. Hey, remember going down to Micah Mountain? We're not going to let that happen again this year. We're coming out with fire. We're looking to build upon that loss, and that plays well for high school kids.
Well, and on the flip side of that, you're the Dorados. You're a junior. You're a senior this year. Well, we won state last year. Does this sting as much?
Yeah.
I know I was fortunate enough to, way back in the day, I was fortunate enough to play on a team. My junior year, it was 13-0. I played, I started, I contributed. It was awesome. And then my senior year, we had to have some guys kind of come back and play, probably a couple of them listening tonight, as a matter of fact. And we ended up making it to the semifinals. And I'm telling you, that didn't sting as bad maybe because you had that championship ring on your finger from the year before. So maybe that's a little bit of the Dorados like, yeah. But these younger guys, they weren't on that team, so that's what they do to build. So anyway, all right, Abe, I'm going to look forward here to the bracket. So most likely Prescott comes here to Snowflake next Friday night. We'll get into that. Micah Mountain looks like they're defeating. We don't have a Bradshaw Thunderbird update, but
that's probably going to be a pretty good game.
All eyes right now, in my opinion, after next week are to the semifinal game. And your big four, that's Yuma Catholic, AZ College Prep, Snowflake, and Micah Mountain. Yep. And Micah Mountain, we don't even know what kind of game they were playing. And Estrella was close for a little bit with AZ College Prep. Seton was actually up on Arcadia. So possibly some good games next week. And look, Prescott could come here and do things we don't expect him to do. But that's why I think it's been so important as we look back on this 3 seed for these Lobos is that game would not be at home. When we saw that CDO game in overtime a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was a big.
I think it was, and it's late November in the White Mountains.
Yeah.
And we saw that game, and much different than it is tonight. But that CDO team lost that game, came back the next year and won it. And then, I mean, they're just not getting any breaks with that weather.
Yeah.
But how much of a disadvantage is it for these Lobos to go down and play a very tough AZ College Prep team? Hopefully they beat Prescott. We're diving into it, so we can speculate all we want. What does it mean not to have home field advantage is my question.
Yeah, I think for the Lobos, they've been down to the Valley so often this year. They did it 3 weeks. They did it 3 weeks in a row. I think it definitely would be better to be home, right? Like, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that we're just going to go down there and it's going to be like a home environment. It's not. But the Lobos are experienced in going down to the Valley. They've got a senior-laden team. I think we would love to have the game at home.
We would absolutely love to have the game at home.
But I think this Lobo team is primed to make a deep run and to get to a state title game again. They were there 2 years ago in the 4A conference. They've got a lot of the same type of leadership that they enjoyed 2 years ago from their senior class this year. They've got a sophomore quarterback in LeDuc who just has grown leaps and bounds all year. I think they're primed to make a run, and even going through ACP. And you see Jacob Wright, or that's Canton Turley. Senior leaders like him and Carter, Merrick, Aaden Coor on the defensive side, Riker Brimhall, all these guys. This has been
Cody Flake, Ethan Christensen.
Cody Flake, Ethan Christensen, along Brock Bjorn. There's just guys all over this team that are seniors that they remember the sting from last year. They're looking to make a run this year.
Well, and to your point too, is I remember this is kind of apples to oranges, like the baseball analogy we talked about. But one of the things is I had a friend one time who he had played a high level of D1 college football, and I asked him, I said, how do you go to, a Midwest school in the middle of winter,
right,
on a opposing and have to stay in a hotel the night before? And what he said really stuck with me. He said, Aaron, it's just a different level. And that's how this has got to be for these Lobos. It's got to be, we're no longer in the 3A. Well, we're not.
Yeah.
And these are home games, ACP. It's a Bermuda field. It's going to be half dead. It's going to be a whole different environment than the nice turf here and the beautiful setting and, the cold. the cold, the altitude is all a factor when you come to play the Lobos in November.
For sure.
So as the clock's going to tick down to the end of halftime, however, we're going to have the warm-up 3. We're going to go ahead and take about a minute, and this has been Honda Ski and Outdoor Halftime Show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, fishing gear, go to Honda Ski and Outdoor north of Pine Top on Highway 260, just before Honda Casino. This has been Honda Ski and Outdoor Halftime Presentations, Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain sports.
Welcome back. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com is a nice shot of the middle of the field there, this brand new turf field. I've been around this community a long time and watched the field go to a point where it was almost pristine, like you felt like the Cardinals could play a game here, and then just typical wear and tear on the grass. And what an opportunity to be able to get the grant provided by the state to be able to get this turf field. And Abe, we watched a lot of soccer on it this year. We both have daughters that play on the Lobo girls soccer team. By the way, we've got to give a shout out to the boys soccer team, state runner-ups this year.
Yep.
And I know it's two-way boys fall soccer, but it doesn't matter. Football or football, the Lobos are going to come to play some fall sports. Cross country didn't finish where they wanted, but they had a great year. Girls soccer got pushed out in the semifinals by a local rival, shall we say, the Sholo Cougars. But nonetheless, it's been a good fall for Lobo athletics and excellence, and look for a lot more things. But having this turf field has just been an absolute good thing for the community. Watch the youth play on it. Had the opportunity to actually officiate a game with the youth playoff team, as we're going to get number 1 for the Dorados, and that is Reese Douglas is going to kick off, and this is going to be the first kickoff. And we're going to see if the Lobos start quick, but it doesn't look like they're taking anything out on that front line. We got Ethan Christensen, Skip Bodden, number 68. I believe
Johnson.
that is Johnson.
Yeah.
And that's 57. That's Brock Bjorn, and 50. It's
White.
either, is it Perry or is that
Ridge Perry up? Or no, that's 60. That's Brent White.
That's Brent White.
Brent White out there.
Back deep is
Looks like you got Christian Smith,
Gian
Jones,
and
Riker.
And Riker Brimhall.
The Lobos that's Carter over there on the right
That's
side.
Carter.
My bad.
As it looks like CDO, the Lobos are taking no chances because their second line is about at the 35-yard line, and their other line is back, so they're taking nothing away from possibly an onside kick here. But I do not see the Dorados doing that, as the clock will be running, and it only stops for timeouts and for injuries and for changes of possession, as far as I understand.
And once it gets to under what, Aaron? So
under 2 minutes, it
it's 30,
goes back
it's 35 points.
35 is now, it's running no matter what. As there's the pooch kick, and that's going to go into the hands of, I believe that is Rabin. As Rabin brings it to the middle of the field, Rabin with a burst of energy, and he goes through, and Rabin goes through.
Might go,
he's going to the 50. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. He's to the 10, and that is Carter Rabin for a 96-yard. Was it 96 or 91? I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Carter Rabin into the end zone.
Wow, what a run
for
by
a
Carter.
touchdown.
Man, he just saw that seam, didn't he, Aaron, and just hit the Jets. And
as we look at the replay there, we maybe take a look at that as we have the PAT team coming on. As I'd like to see where he fielded that at.
Oh, that's a different kickoff.
That's a different kickoff.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No,
As Brown's going to come on to attempt the PAT. As 44-0, Brown with a chance to make it 45. Is that Christensen to snap?
I don't know who our long snapper is, honestly, Aaron. I think it might be Ridge Perry, because he sort of came out of that area, big 56. So, yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, and that's even cliche in and of itself, right? But man, what a what a start by the Lobos. They have just started fast this game and just have not let off the gas. Carter just made an incredible cut right through the middle of the zone there. Good blocking by the special team players for the Snowflake Lobos. And we talked about Carter being the change of pace guy, and you saw that speed right there. He just ran away from a few of the Dorados. So we'll see if Sam Brown puts another one deep in the back.
Well, he's kicking against the wind now, so I'm actually curious to see what the Lobos did because they pooched a couple down to about the 25-yard line. But if it were me, I would like to see Brown get it up in the air and get it to hang there for a little bit and see what happens.
Well, Sammy's going to line it up. We'll see what type of leg he's got going into the wind. This is like your 9-iron, right? You know, you want to hit a little knockdown 9-iron like Tiger Woods does from time to time.
Yeah. As Brown does kick it up,
exactly
and that's going to be, and it's going to hang up there, and it's going to bounce backwards. As that's going to be on, and Lobos
get it,
and that's going to be touched, and that's going to go into the end zone, and it'll be. Right? It'll be advanced because it is a muffed kick, so it cannot be advanced, so that is going to end on the 1-yard line. The Lobo faithful may not understand that, but if we want to dig in the rule book, we can because that is a muffed punt.
Well, we do understand it because of what happened at Post and Butte this year.
So right there, the ball is muffed. It goes, and I don't know if it's going to be there or if they're going to put it at the spot of first touch. It looks like it's going to go to the 1, which is the spot of first touch, and if you're the Dorados, you have to be 100% upset. But, Abe, that's what I was saying is let Brown get that up in the air.
Yeah, great call there.
And let that hang around a little bit.
It did. Because it just died, didn't it?
Well, and CDO's home field is grass. They've played on turf, but they haven't played on this turf. And we watched those soccer games again. I know but we watched that ball bounce. And I remember it was the Payson soccer game.
Yep.
That ball took 2 nasty bounces, and it cost our girls a win and came to be a tie.
Yeah.
As here's LeDuc in shotgun.
That's actually Judd Flake now at quarterback.
That's Judd Flake at quarterback as Judd Flake gives the ball to.
Is that Brenner Green?
Brenner,
is that 33?
That's 33, Brenner Green. And Brenner Green for a touchdown. And the route is on here at Lobo Stadium as the clock is – I thought the clock would run, but it hasn't. Now, Abe, let's go back to that muffed punt or that muffed kick. You cannot advance a muffed kick. Yeah. It'd just be like when you recover an onside. You can't advance that. Now, since it's muffed and it was not illegal batting or touching, that ball is allowed to roll. If it would have rolled into the end zone, I'm not sure what the call would have been. Because
he had touched it or because it's a kickoff?
If it was a muff and it rolled into the end zone, I'm pretty sure that would have been a touchback, Abe. And that's exactly what happened. And it would have been. So as I'm thinking about it and playing it through, if that would have gone into the end zone, that would have been the ball out to the 20 and it would have belonged to the Dorados. So good job for the Lobos maybe recognizing that. Great job on the special teams. So the Lobos now 52-0 on the evening with 11 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third quarter. And it looks like we're having a little bit of problem with the clock. Folks, there's 11 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, 11:25. It is not running, though, Aaron, which is odd. Shouldn't this be running right now even after scores? Because you said it was only for timeout and injuries.
Timeouts, injuries, change of possessions.
Oh, and change of possessions.
Change of possessions.
Okay.
So this is a Northland Pioneer College kickoff as Brown kicks it off, and it's going to be an offsides, or I mean it's going to go down as we're going to get a sideline on the coach because we have a flag thrown, and I think we had a hat thrown, and he turned back and looked at the coach. So curious to see what the call is going to be here.
Yeah, I can't. They're coming in to talk to one another, and I didn't see anything, so never mind. He's just giving them a football.
Okay, false start on the kicking team.
Okay.
Sideline warning against the defense, but that one doesn't matter. So we're going to back it up 5. A sideline warning is that it's just a warning.
Do you get one warning?
You get one warning on the sideline unless there's contact made with an official, which on this turf field and the way the boxes have been painted in the blue turf, there very rarely does a team need to go in front of that. So we have a sideline warning. And we have a situation where the back judge giving the call. It's going to back the Lobos up 5. Brown's going to kick it off, and that's going to be received right about the 19-yard line. And here come the Dorados. And I didn't see who the receiver was, but it's going to be down at the 35-yard line as the Dorados are going to take over on downs. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line, down 52-0, 11 minutes.
Well, and to what we spoke about a little bit, Aaron, it looks like the Lobos will sub out a few players. Looks like Michael Taylor's in there for Aaden Coor. You still have Haydyn Nichols and Riker Brimhall out there. It looks like Trip Whiting's out on the other outside linebacker position, number 11.
1st and 10 on the 35 for the Dorados. Ball is on the far hash. As Stang drops back, he rolls now to his right at the numbers, at the 30, back to the 35 original line of scrimmage, and he's going to get a 5-yard gain being pushed out at the 40. Abe, continue to give us some of those Lobos that have come in the game.
Yeah, it looks like you had Connor Reed who chased him out, who chased Strang out there. Brent White's still in the game. He's a starter. But, yeah, you see Connor Reed, 88, flip in there on your screen. Looks like Andrew Bentley's still out there, a starter. Gian Jones in the secondary, Jet Smith in the secondary. So, sort of a mixed bag of starters and second-teamers here for the Lobos.
2nd and 5 as the ball is given straight up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 2.5, 3 on the play. That's going to be down to the 41-yard line. That's going to be, we're going to call that 3rd and, gosh, Abe, I'm going to call that a long 4.
Yeah, so
on the 41-yard line.
So Wyatt Johnson's going to come in for Andrew Bentley there. As you see,
so Bentley's out and Johnson comes in. And
got Gabe Kennard, it looks like, and Victor Woodside, both starters as well. So
Lobos just mixing in some substitutes with the starters, trying to get some experience for upcoming, probably getting a chance to play some of the seniors. As Stang drops back, Stang looks. He throws long. He does have a man open, as that's going to be knocked away, intended for number 12 for the Dorados, and that is Cash Dickey, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 4. Now, Abe, I understand you're down 52-0. Is that getting your sophomore quarterback some experience? Because that's a 30-yard pass down the field when you needed 4.
Yeah, I don't want to second guess anyone, Aaron. But
I can't. I'm not second guessing him.
No, I know.
Trying to get into the mind here.
I would feel like let's try to get something over the middle, build some confidence, get him going a little bit better. But especially challenging Gian Jones out there. I mean, we've seen Gian just make some incredible plays all year long. I'm not sure I'd want to challenge him ever, even if I've got a senior quarterback out there. So
Gian is hands on his knees. I'm hoping he's not too shaken up.
He sort of hit his head
pretty good
on that turf.
He looked like he came down a little bit as Dorados are going to go for it here. Stang, 2 receivers to his left, 4th and 4 on the 41. 2 receivers to his left. Running back comes into block, and there's Nichols going for the rush, and that's going to be intercepted, which
Merrick
is great for Merrick to intercept it, but the Lobos get the ball about 12 yards back from where they probably would. But nonetheless, it goes in, and that just gives Brown a chance to possibly put one into the wind here. No, I'm joking. We're going to go ahead, folks, and take a break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Welcome back to Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com as the Lobos come out from the 45-yard line, and the first give is to the defensive end, Brent White, number 60. Yes?
That might be the first time he's ran the football since 5th grade.
And that's okay. As the Lobos come out, Brent gets a gain of about 9.5 from where they spot it, as Flake in at quarterback. And I'm going to do the best I can, folks, to update you on who's in the game for the Lobos and give the props where it's due. Looks like the Lobos have chosen to let the clock run a little bit as Flake's in there, as the give is to...
I think that's Victor Woodside.
I think that's Victor Woodside. As Woodside gets over, and he gets a first down. As number 30 and number 33, I believe that's Green and Bodden, check in now for the Lobos. As Silverhorn comes out, as well as Woodside, and
looks like they actually kept Graham Silverhorn Silverhorn in there. They're going to leave Skip and Graham.
Okay, so Skip and Graham playing double tight ends, Flake at quarterback. And Flake did have a couple victories under his belt while the Duke was hurt. Guided the Lobos, and so not unfamiliar territories. He's got trips to his right. Ball's on the 49-yard line of the Dorados. As the give is up the middle again, the Lobos just going to do everything they can to eat this clock. Gain of 3 on the play. Guys, I'm having to look at our replay to see who.
That was Brenner Green.
That was Brenner Green comes up.
Yep.
As it's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Lobos. The nose of the football is on the 40-yard line as the clock is starting to tick down. And if you're the Dorados, you got to start going, okay, what do we need to do next year? How do we want to end this? We want to end this on a high note. We want to give. Now, the seniors most likely played on that team last year, so there's not going to be all the after senior emotion that goes through. Right. As there's a pass by Flake, and I thought I saw what could have been a flag thrown.
Yeah, it was. I think it might have been illegal procedure potentially. That it was thrown right as the snap went, so I wonder if they just didn't have enough guys on the line or too many on the line.
That's what I'm guessing because they spotted it on the line. As let's see what we have here.
Got him turned up. We'll see if he turns his mic on there.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So they did have a couple of, I'm going to call out my son in front of all Lobo Nation that he was out there lined up. I would imagine he was not lined up properly.
Well, there are some times in a game like this when you're getting your subs in, it's who's on the line, who's not on the line. Trips to the right, ball is on the 47-yard line as Flake goes to pass, and Flake nearly intercepted. As number 11 for the Dorados, David Luke nearly had that picked. And the face, if you look at the replay, the reaction and face of Luke says it all for the Dorados tonight. That was mine. I missed it. And it is unfortunate because CDO has a good athletic history. They just got caught on a bad night here. But, we know that they've had some great baseball, and their softball teams have been incredible. They won state in football last year. Yeah. I'm sure they have wrestling and basketball do pretty well. They probably have some other individual sports in that part of Tucson, swimming and diving. But, just a bad night for their football team, but a top-tier program in the 4A.
Yeah, they'll be back for sure.
Ball is on the 49. No, we're going to call it the 45-yard line. That's Brown into punt. Brown with the kick. Brown doesn't even put much leg into it. It takes at the 20 and takes a Lobo bounce, and that is going to be down on the 13-yard line of the Dorados, as the Dorados are going to take over. We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com is Stang, the sophomore quarterback for the Dorados, the split backs on each side from the 13-yard line. The give is to the middle, and there is going to be a pack of Lobos down there to bring down the ball carrier, and coming off the bottom of the pile is, I didn't even see who it was.
I didn't see either there, Aaron. You got Wyatt Johnson sort of up on top. Maybe that was Porter Reed up underneath there. You got Andrew Bentley still out on the line. Seth Farnsworth now in the game, number 67. Skip Bodden at middle linebacker, flanked with Connor Reed, Trip Whiting, and Coulter Willis. So Lobos making a few more wholesale changes now.
Still, though, you're looking at a situation where you want to get your guys time, you want to make sure you do it cleanly, and you do not want to get anybody hurt. As there's a fall down by the Dorados, and that possibly is a ball on the floor, and that's going to be fumbled as it looked like there might have been a flag thrown. I'm not sure if that was a flag or a beanbag by the White Hat. That was a flag thrown. So we're going to get a flag on the play, and we're going to see what happens. So there's a fumble, and we have no indication yet of the direction of the ball.
Wyatt Johnson back here, you could see him holding the ball. He's like, hey, come on. Give me my 15 minutes of glory.
As we have the back judge, the umpire, and the white hat, the referee engaged in a conversation. We're going to see what he says.
I have illegal batting on number 67 of the defense. 10 yards from the previous spot, first down.
So is that when the ball's rolling on the ground, Aaron, and he hit it forward?
Yep, we'd have to see that on replay. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but the 10 yards does give the Dorados the first down on that illegal batting because possession hadn't been secured as we look at it. I'm not sure.
67's back here, so the number wasn't right. But, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure either, but it's first down nonetheless for the Dorados, and we play ball. The referee had a much better angle on that than any of us here with our replay. So he obviously saw the penalty happen in front of him, and that's one that
good tackle by Connor.
The advantage of that one would be the defender slapping the ball to get it to a teammate or possibly even putting it in the end zone. That's why it's in the rule book. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that was a great call.
Yeah, looked like a good one from what we were seeing.
As we have the ball spotted right on the 30-yard line, it's going to be 2nd and 5. It's going to be 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. We're going to call it 4. As ball's on the 30, Dorados come out, single back, behind the quarterback, Strang. As the give is to...
Came through the running back. Was that Greer?
And we're going to get ourselves a little bit of extracurricular stuff as I see number 84 and number 30 mixing it up there.
That was actually 27. They've got him listed as a freshman.
That is Cody Fimbris.
Fimbris?
As a freshman, we're going to see what the penalty is here as we saw a little extracurricular mixing it up.
Personal foul, illegal helmet contact, defense number 11. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
That's going to be called on Trip Whiting, and that's going to be at the end of the run. And this is putting they can't get careless here, Abe, because you do not want to get anybody ejected for that next game. And you also don't want to have so many flags and end it so ugly where there might even be, I don't want to say a mark on your back, but you go into that next week like, oh, these guys played dirty and they were up 52.
Right.
So the Lobos got to be very careful here and just play what's got them here. Play and show why they're probably going to be 11-0 at the end of this night. As Strang gets back and throws it deep to number 1, that's going to be a pass, and that is going to be completed, as that is going to be from the 40, 1st and 10, from the Lobo 40, and that's going to be completed all the way down to the 10-yard line. So
that great ball there by Strang. Look at that, Aaron.
That was
put
a
that
great
thing
pass.
Right on the money. Jet Smith just doing all he can to hold on.
As we go to the bracket now, Micah Mountain up 31-0 on the Panthers of Coconino. Micah Mountain up 31-0. Thunderbird 42-20. And was Thunderbird playing Seton Catholic?
No, Thunderbird was
Arcadia.
That was a good game. Yeah, that was going to be
be a good one.
But Thunderbird's sort of taking it to him, huh?
Yeah, curious to get some updates as we appreciate Derek Palmer, iTalk's own, bringing us in there. As the ball on the 10-yard line on the left side of the field. Give us to number 24. That's Brendan Lawrence. Was that 24 or 34? I think that was Lawrence. And he's listed as a 5'9", 182-pound junior, as it looks like the Dorados are doing their best to get some of their younger guys in, maybe get that playoff experience that they've been accustomed to over the last couple years. But 2 out of the last 3 years, your season ends in Snowflake. That's definitely not, but you do have a championship to boost on that offseason. So maybe a friendly little rivalry developing here between the Dorados and the Lobos as there's Strang going. Now he rolls. He rolls to his left into the quarter, and he's going to be tackled. So we're going to flip the field, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Welcome back. Show Low Fort's presentation of high school football on iTalk1067.com. Lobos up 52-0 at the start of a running clock, fourth quarter, as the Dorados are going to be threatening to score here. As the Dorados will bring it down, the ball will be placed on the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal, and they will be on the left hash, so a huge advantage. It looks like in the 3A realms, Ben Franklin is beating ALA Ironwood 20-18. Thatcher 24, Florence 3, and Pushridge up 28-0 on Paradise Honors, and ALA West up on Round Valley 20-6. Now, I had an opportunity one of the first weeks of the season to watch Pushridge play the Show Low Cougars, and I got to tell you, I thought they were a top 8 team then, and then what they did towards the
Delaware.
Yes.
So, yeah, those guys are very, very
You were looking over the Canyon of Gold.
Yeah. Well, I hate that highway, so I'm not going to call the Canyon of Gold. That highway's got to be the longest highway in all of Arizona.
You mean it takes you an hour to go? I always like to say that Tucson's about an hour away from Tucson.
Yes, it feels like it takes forever, especially the school van.
That's Oracle Road.
Yeah, Oracle
As Stinger
Road.
drops back, 4th and goal from the 6. Looks right, looks left. Now he throws long lollipop pass, and it's going to find its way into the end zone, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Dorados, and that is going to go to number 7, Gavin Bauer for the Dorados. Good job with the Dorados to get on the board here in the fourth quarter, as it is 52-6 now, as the PAT team will come on for the Snowflake Lobos. 10 minutes and 57 seconds left, and that's kind of what I expected to see out of the Dorados, is a little bit of that scrappy nature, getting down the field. Oh, you can say it was against the second D, but the fact of the matter is they came down. They're using some of their own reserve players, and were able to come in and put that drive in the end zone, and very impressed with Stenger there. And again, I think everything you can do to build on Abe, to go into that offseason, to go into next year. I'm sure a few of these guys are going to hit the wrestling mat. I'm sure a few of them are going to hit the weight room. A few of them are going to hit the basketball court, and I'm sure a few of them are going to be on the baseball field.
Yeah, for sure. Canyon de Laurel's always got a solid baseball team, and I've been impressed with Strang. He's got a good arm. He's played some really good football here. No quitting the kid.
Money.
So
that one was on the money. Is the 2-point conversion falls no good, and that is going to be incomplete to number 20, Diego Torres, the 5'10", 180-pound sophomore. So as the Lobos get ready to receive their second kickoff, we're going to go into a Northland Pioneer College kickoff. We're going to run down some of our sponsors. That's our Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown. And we, of course, have Honda Ski and Outdoor with our halftime show, but that was a Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown. We have Ace Hardware with our keys to the game. Summit Healthcare. And then, of course, Horn Auto Center. Deemer's Glass. And Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint. And, folks, we could not be able to bring you these games without these sponsors. Yes. Anytime you're in need of any one of their services, please call them. They do a lot for the youth of the area. I mean, you see, we'll be on the air multiple times during basketball season. Boys and girls will be out and braving the very fun elements of the springtime. And what they do for high school sports up here, volleyball every now and again, of course, high school football, as the Lobos are set to receive here. And it does look
like they're going to onside, Aaron.
It looks like they might be onside. We're going to see what happens. So we have 6 on one side and 4 on the other, which is legal. The ball is not quite in the middle at the 40. It's more to the left hash, as there's no hands team in. So the Dorados are going to come in tight, and we're going to get and it's going to go to a pooch kick, and it's going to be fielded, and that's going to bounce around a little bit, but I believe that is Ethan Christensen, number 55, jumps on it, and that's going to be Lobo ball. And we're going to have 10 minutes and 57 seconds left on this running clock towards the end of the game. A reminder to stick around for our post-game show. And in our post-game show, we're going to have our Horn Auto Center drive of the game. We're going to have our Deemer's Glass shattering hit of the game. and our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass Player of the Game. And that's one that we got to sit and talk about a little bit, because we have a couple of them that we want to talk about. But nonetheless, Lobos with the ball here. Flake at quarterback. Flake with the give to Green. And Green fights his way from the 41-yard line, 1st and 10, all the way down to the, well, I was going to say the 52, but that's Canadian, eh? It was the 48.
Yeah. Hey, it's about as cold as Canada is right now out here, so.
That's the center line, eh? We go over there. We're going to go slap the puck around after the game.
Listen to you speaking Canadian, and then you had a really good Spanish accent about 5 minutes ago too, Aaron.
And I know what is Canadian? As Green gets the ball, Green bounces out to the outside. Green's going to be stopped short of the first down by about 2 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Lobos. And
Brenner's one of those backs that if you're a Lobo fan, you're going to need to keep an eye out for him next year. You know, you lose both Canton and Carter Rabin. And Brenner, honestly, there was a game this year. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was Poston Butte, where Brenner came into the game and had a great spark for the Lobos and really ran hard in the second half and got us some big first downs. And that's going to be a fumble. I think he puts the ball in the ground.
That's going to and that's okay. A young mistake, learned from it. That's going to be covered by, I believe that is number 36. Actually, is that 26? These numbers are
26. Ashton Phillips
recovers that, and it's going to be Dorados' ball, and that's going to be at the 44-yard line of the Dorados, threatening to go into Lobo territory, and we have a change of possession. We apologize, folks, for the mics breaking up. It's the wind has caused a little bit of havoc with all of our equipment this evening, doing the best we can. We appreciate our technical crew, all the guys on the cameras, all the guys in the trucks, and we just had an update. Ben Franklin up 27-18. So some good games at the 3A realm, but they're again going into that. They're going semifinals, and the 3A, they go to a neutral site. And I believe next week they go to Mesa High or Westwood, and the 2As go to Mesa High or Westwood. Not sure, but we're concentrating on the 4A now. As Stanger goes, he throws it long, throws a great ball. You know, Abe, the way he throwed that, I don't wonder if we're going to see him on the hill on the diamond in springtime, because he throws a great ball, and that came down. And I know you probably saw it too. That came down like you would throw a sweeping slider across the plate there.
Yeah, he's got a good arm. The good tight spiral right there you saw out of him, and just a little over the fingertips of his intended wide receiver. That was number 8, Evan Greer.
You know, speaking of baseball, Abe, we kind of failed to mention, but we do want to mention the passing of one of our good friends.
Yeah.
If you were anybody who's anybody for the last 20 years on the mountain, 25 years on the mountain, you know the name Joe Merklin.
Yep.
And we lost Joe Merklin, who was a giant. And the thing about Joe is we love Joe, and we loved all he did for high school sports. But the one thing that I want to say before I turn it over to you is there was one man, he officiated football and he coached baseball. And one of the things is we have an incomplete pass by Stanger down the middle. One of the things I want to say about Joe is he was in it for the kids.
Yeah.
100%. And you never doubted that about him, and he was a giant in high school sports in this area, and he will be 100% missed.
Yeah, we were so excited to have him come back on our staff this year with us. He's an incredible mentor to me. He was an incredible coach to my son. I can't ask for a better man to be associated with. And Joe Matthews reminded us today at his funeral, Joe Merklin loved coaching the mountain kids. Like, it didn't really matter which school you were at.
Nope.
Didn't matter which program you were a part of. He just loved being up here on the mountain and coaching our kids and coaching our youth. And he did it at all levels. He did it in the Little League level, the high school level. He coached a lot of American Legion teams, so post-high school. And he loved being up here and associating himself with our community. And I can't even begin to tell you how many times he would say during a baseball practice, I just want to coach kids who are tough and who want to win, and that is who you guys are up on the mountain. and he was a great asset to our program here at Lobo Baseball. He won a state championship at Blue Ridge.
Arguably, unarguably, I think that was the best team to come out of the White Mountains was his state championship Blue Ridge team, which Coach Joe Matthews was fortunate enough to be one of his assistants.
He coached at Sholo as well.
He coached at Snowflake.
He's just been an incredible asset to our community up here in the White Mountains.
He was an official for years, too. We can't discount what he did on the football field. And I remember as Stanger fell incomplete last time, as Stanger goes down, throws it down the field, and he's going to have a completed pass.
Almost.
That's going to go – they're going to call it incomplete because there was a little bit of bobble. It looks like Arcadia's up now, 27-23.
Wow, okay.
But as that ball falls incomplete and the linesman there calling it out of bounds, the bobble putting it out of bounds, so the ball's going to go back and be marked. And
was that fourth down?
Yeah, it was fourth down.
My bad. Okay.
So a turnover on downs for the Lobos as kind of going back to Joe Merklin. He was he refereed all kinds of football, but he mostly did the umpire position in the middle. But I remember when there used to be a lot of times where the Thursday games would be the freshmen would play at 4:30 and the JV would play at 6:30. And that's a lot of officiating to do in one night, and Joe would be out there. When I started the officiating realm, I was talking to Joe as Judd Flake gets it there, and Judd's going to move to the outside. Judd's going to go to the 40. He's at the 35, and he's going to fall down at the 30, and he's going to get a first down, and he's going to fall out of bounds as the clock continues to run. As I was talking to Joe, and I don't remember where I was, but we were together, and he goes, hold on a second. He went into his car, and he gave me a penalty flag. And he goes, here, this is from me because I'm not going to need it anymore. He goes, this is from me, but don't use it. Yeah. And one thing Joe was known for is he did not throw a lot of flags, and he was a very good official in the middle and just loved kids and high school sports and being around them. Baseball was his first love, but he will be missed.
Yeah.
And he was a giant up here for high school sports, and we appreciate all he did. As Lobos from the 32-yard line as Green gets through, and Green's going to bring it down to about the 21 as it's going to be a little bit of a scrum there, and he's going to get tackled as we're going to call it a gain of – that's a gain of about 7.5, 8 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 2 as the clock continues to march down. I don't see either team losing timeouts as the score remains 52-6 in favor of the Snowflake Lobos. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. We appreciate the hospitality of athletic director, Mr. Kevin Stanifer, for getting us in the booth tonight. I don't think we could have asked for a better setup tonight, Abe. We came prepared for the cold, and I'm actually kind of warm up here.
Yeah, I was fully expecting to go home tonight and have to line my mattress with heating pads.
Yeah,
but not anymore. And I'll give Kevin a handshake as I get out of here, and maybe even give him a hug because, frankly, this feels amazing.
So from what we can see from the scores rolling in, it looks like the Lobos are going to have Prescott here at home as Flake, ball on the 20, 2nd and 8 as the give is 2. Is that Greer?
That's Skip.
That's Bodden. That's Skip Bodden, number 30. And
where'd the ball go, Skip? Did he fumble?
I don't.
Did they blow it dead already?
I think they must have blown it dead for it. And see, he's telling, I had the ball. I can see the conversation in my head.
To the Dorado fans, that's my son. He's a third-string football player. He's good baseball player, but not the greatest football. And the coaches have just been wonderful to him this year. So.
Flake single back set to his right, Bodden out to the left as the give is to Green. Green up the middle. Green breaks 2 tackles, 3 tackles. Now he goes down to the 5.
He's going to score.
Green goes in for a touchdown.
Wow, Brenner.
And that's going to be 58-6 in favor of the Lobos. And on a chilly night here from Snowflake High School, as Green punches it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Man, Brenner just would not be denied there. And I've coached Brenner in baseball, been around him the last few years. The thing that I love about Brenner is he does learn from his mistakes quickly. We saw that right there, right? Last possession, he gets the ball stripped from him. Right there, he's just not going down and holding on tight to that ball, and he's just a great learner of sports in general.
We have somebody else kicking here.
Is that Jackson Merrill probably?
I believe that's Jackson Merrill in to attempt the extra point. Ball is down, kick is up, and it is through the upright. Seton up 30-27.
Wow.
As these scores roll in. Is Green going to handle the load of the running next year?
Yes, he should. So what I've seen, Aaron, out of the football team this year, he's been the clear number 3 But then Haydyn Nichols comes out of his middle linebacker position and will run it. He's probably your fourth running back right now. But I would imagine Green will have to be a lot of it. And, you got Jacob LeDuc back next year, too, the quarterback. He's ran for 500-plus yards, and we saw his ability a number of times tonight.
Yep.
Between him and Brenner, really what Snowflake will miss next year is just the experience on the line.
I agree with that.
They've got 3 kids who have started since they were sophomores, and Cody Flake, Ethan Christensen, and Brock Bjorn.
And Brent on the defensive side did
Brent
a little bit.
and Andrew on the defensive side, right? So you're losing a lot of your core interior guys, but it's just an opportunity for the next generation to step up, and that's what these guys did when they were sophomores 2 years ago when they went to the state title game for 4A, their first year in 4A. So, yeah, there's some –
as Jackson Merrill
with the kick.
And, I mean, that had a little bit of wind behind it, but not as much as we saw earlier in the game. The wind has subsided a little bit. Look at us talking up here in a protected booth. As
we're talking about how warm we are,
3 minutes and 4 seconds left here in the ball game. We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. This is Show Fort's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Back at Show Fort's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com as Stanger gives the ball in the middle and it is stopped short. Ball is on the 20. It's going to be a gain of 2 on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Dorados.
Yeah, great tackle there by Kel Birdno, sophomore for the Lobos, coming off his defensive end position. Getting some varsity action here. Connor Reed in there, middle linebacker now, cleaned up the tackle as well. So good to see sort of the next generation of Lobo football players get some experience here in the playoffs. And if you're the Lobo coaching staff, Aaron, you probably couldn't have drawn up a better scenario than tonight, right? You come out and score 20-something points in the first quarter, build on that, go 38-0 at half, and you just get a chance to get the game going and get some young guys in.
As Stanger gives the ball to number 7, and that is number 7. That's Gavin Bauer. However, there is a flag down. No, don't touch that, young man. Leave it there. That could be a spot foul.
I think it will be holding.
Holding offense number 20. 10 yards in the spot of the foul. We play 2nd down.
So that's ahead of the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a spot foul from there. We're going to go back 10, and that's going to keep it 2nd down. However, it's going to be 2nd down and about 18 to go. Maybe 17 to go for the Dorados. So, Abe, I think we're safe to look forward to next week. Most likely, from what we can tell, Prescott is going to be coming. I'm not even sure exactly where Prescott was in.
They were number 6.
They were playing Vista Grande, and they were up on Vista Grande. But Vista Grande is, and that they're going to be the 6th seed. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock game here next Friday, a week from tonight, at Snowflake High School.
I did a little bit of reading this week, Aaron, on the 4A playoff teams. They did a little write-up on everyone. They put Prescott as a dark horse in this playoff race, and mainly they did that because of their quarterback. I can't remember his name, but I remember reading about him. He's thrown for like 1,800 yards and ran for another 900 or so. So he's sort of their offense. And so I think next week as we look forward to Prescott, the Lobos have done good against some solid quarterbacks this year. The kid from Cactus was legit. Yep. But they've got to make sure to not allow him to become 2- and 3-dimensional where he's beating you in multiple facets of the game. You've got to make sure to maybe take away one of his options. If it's in the passing game, take it away. If it's in the running game, take that away. But you've probably got to choose one of those and just make sure that he becomes one-dimensional instead of multi-dimensional.
Well, my question on that Prescott game is number 2 for the Dorados takes it and is dropped. That's going to be – that was third and 5 from the 25. And it looks like we're going to tick down, and this one's going to end as we're going to have a final from Lobo Stadium, and the Snowflake Lobos victorious 59-6. We're going to come back and finish our post-game show. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Welcome back. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk and worldwide on iTalk1067.com as the Snowflake Lobos defeat the Canyon del Oro Dorados 59-6 as we move to our post-game show. And in our post-game show, our first thing we have, Abe, is we have our Horn Auto Center drive of the game. And we kind of talked about this earlier, but we had no doubt what that was going to be. And go ahead and give us that one.
Yeah, I really think getting that field goal from Sam Brown was awesome. I mean, 50-plus yard field goal is a 51
in high school.
Yeah, in high school. We called it initially a school record. We found out from the special team coach he was a yard short. But nonetheless, it sort of came at a big time because it felt like – so Lobos were up 14-0. It came at a big time because it sort of felt like the Dorados got a stop, forced Snowflake into a really long field goal attempt. They are thinking, okay, well – if he misses this, we're going to get the ball back. It's still early in the game. We might be able to go and get things close again. Sam puts it through from it probably would have been good from 58, 59.
We think it
had that trajectory. But anyway, bottom line is he boots a 51-yarder. They go up 17-0, and that just sort of seemed to be boom.
Yep.
Dorados back. They just said, this is out of our reach. And the Lobos just rolled from there. They ended up scoring another 21 points in the first half.
Built some momentum.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Built some momentum for them, and really propelled them to the next number of scores that they got. So
congratulations to our special teams and Sam Brown with the 51-yard field goal, 1 yard off the school record. The next thing we have is our Deemer's Glass. Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside, hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at an affordable price. Deemer's Glass, 1-888-GLASSMAN. We forget to mention that Horn Auto Center is your Chevy, Cadillac, GMC store that saves you more. So our glass-shattering hit of the game. Go ahead and give us that one, Abe.
So to me, that one was the forced fumble by Riker Brimhall. Strang threw a great ball up over the middle, wide receiver running open through the middle of the field. It's going to end up being about a 25-yard gain. Riker Brimhall peels back, puts his helmet right on the ball, breaks it loose. Lobos recover and just turn away what looked to be a promising drive by the Dorados. And Riker coming off of injury, we talked about that a little bit. He's been banged up most of the season. He comes through with a great hit tonight. The Lobos have a tradition where they give a piece of wood out to the biggest hit of the game. I would be surprised if that's not Riker tonight.
And he's coming off that injury. Good for him. So our glass-shattering hit of the game goes to Riker Brimhall on the forced fumble. And next we have our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint. Get your windshield replaced by experts. And that is our player of the game. And Abe, we could say Sam, that field goal. We could say just Jacob Leduc is sticking in there. We could say the defensive line.
Yeah.
But I think deservedly so. You came up with a name, and go ahead and give us that because I actually agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's big number 28, Canton Turley.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's just a workhorse. We talked about it at the top, Aaron. The strategy that the Lobos were going to employ tonight was we're going to load the box and we're going to run the football. And they did that. They came out double, triple tight end sets early in the game. And Canton just made that offense go in that first quarter. We talked about it, 14 points right off the bat. Canton was a huge part of that, picking up big chunk plays. I believe we had him down for 2 touchdowns. Sorry if we're wrong on that, but bottom line is Canton was just the workhorse tonight in that first half as the Lobos hang 38 points to go up 38-0 at halftime, and Canton was a huge part of that.
As we'd like to thank our sponsors one last time, Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce, Ace Hardware in Pinetop, Overgarden, Sholo, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store on 260 north of the casino, Northland Pioneer College, Horn Auto Center, your Chevy, Cadillac, GMC store that saves you more, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center, get your athlete back in the game, Comfort Fit Dentures, we appreciate them sponsoring and Comfort Fit Dentures, you helped us out a lot tonight by sponsoring our touchdowns because there were a few of them. Horn Auto Center, as well as Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. And I forgot to mention one, and that's Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. 1-888 Glassman, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Final tonight, 59-6 in favor of the Snowflake Lobos. For RJ in the truck, Robin on the cameras,
all of our other crew.
Sorry,
I didn't catch any of their names.
My mind just went blank. We had them up here. They just do a fantastic job.
Daniel on our audio.
And we thank all our cameramen and our crew. I'm Aaron Hewish for Abe Bodden. We're signing off, and we will see you next Friday. Somebody from iTalk will see you next Friday. Again, the final, Snowflake 59, Canyon del Oro 6. Congratulations to the Lobos as they move on. Thank you. Have a safe weekend.
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pinetop and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Deemer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 106.7 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communications station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of iTalk 106.7 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com.